I'll gamble a little bit here on the front end. Let's see if I can lose a bunch of my money. Live on air, baby.
We'll do live. Fuck it.
All right, let's see. Let's see how badly I can lose. I totally do this like all the time. When I get bored, I'm like, let me jump over to roll the dice a couple times. No thanks. I don't need promo. Okay, here we go. Looks like I got 6.2 wax. Not bad. That's enough for me to try to make more than 6.2 wax. Let's see what we got here. What are we feeling? High or low? I'm gonna go 75 and then say below 75.
Monosuerte says, "What is this now? This is a gambling website on Wax."
I'm just gambling. This is not
endorse this.
This is nothing you need to be doing. This is nonsense. But you see, I have 6.2 wax. I'm about to take 3 wax. I'm gonna say at 75 out of 100. I'm gonna guess that the random number generator is gonna generate a number lower than 75. If I swap, I could say higher, and I could tell it where I want the number. But right now, I'm gonna say, actually, Monosuerte, what do you think? Which number should I go, and then which one should I go higher or lower? Like we can go 80 and then go lower. That makes it so the payout will be 1.3 instead of anything else. Marcy, excuse you, Marcy. She's barking up a storm because someone's walking by outside. All right, let's see. I'll go for 75 unless Monosuerte has a different number in mind.
Monosuerte says higher, 60.
Higher than 60? Okay, fuck. Let's go, dude. Let's see what we got. You're going to make me lose. All right, let's see what we can do here. Higher than 60. I would get 2.4 times what I start with. Oh, my God. I rolled a 1.
Can't get lower than that.
Yeah, well, that's not going to work. So there you go. And then I lost my 3 wax. So now I only have 3.25 left. I'm just going to roll the dice on the last of all of my wax on this wallet. But this time I'm going to go higher. But let's say higher than 30. Roll the dice. No! Oh, God. I lost it all.
And that's how you lose 6 wax in about 30 seconds.
You lose a bunch of money. You could just gamble away. Gamble away all your hard-earned wax. Either way, I do this with my web wallet every now and then. I'll claim rewards from a farm, and I'll send 10 or 20 wax or something to this wallet. And then I'll use the wallet to participate in gambling like I just did. And then what I'll do is I'll take the gambling winnings once I make double what I start with, and I'll deposit it into the liquidity pool for the bet tokens. So let me see. I should actually, here's that same gambling wallet. I should have some. Yeah, here's some liquidity. Let's see. I have 16 wax. I'm still in the positive. So you know what? I want to roll the dice again. So I'm going to withdraw 3 more of this wax. Hopefully, if it lets me load. Sometimes the cloud wallet's a little janky, I feel like. Especially now that they're in the middle of a migration to their new web wallet. Yeah, fuck it. I give up on that. It's probably for the best. I'm not trying to fucking roll the dice too hard here.
I'm the KY was asking a question in our Discord, though. He said after playing with that Owl Games site, he has 50 USDT on Ether and 50 USDT in Polygon, and he was basically asking, is there anything he can do with that without having gas?
Oh, over on
gas
Polygon.
built into the withdraw, I guess. So he can withdraw it somewhere, but he can't. He doesn't have gas on those networks. So
yeah, you do need Polygon. You're going to need Matic tokens to do anything.
Were there any centralized exchanges where you can stake that stuff? Can you stake USDT on Matic anywhere on a centralized exchange for a return? Because that would be gas free.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Let's see. USDT over on Polygon.
He also has it on Ethereum. He has it on both chains.
Oh, on Ethereum. Let's see. There is. Oh wait, you're in the US. Okay. There is Ethereum based exchanges where you can participate in trading, where you do one transaction to deposit into their layer 2 contract, and then everything beyond that is free. And if you're depositing an amount of value over a threshold, like I think the threshold is maybe $500, the deposit transaction is free as well. Let's take a look at that. You do have to use a VPN though. If you're in the United States, it'll geo-block you, so it'll tell me I'm not allowed to be here. But here's one of those kind of exchanges. It's like a DYDX. You can come here, and then if you were to in your portfolio, you can, I guess you'd have to connect your wallet. We'll start with that. Connect. And then since I'm in the US, I don't have a VPN. It's unavailable to me. Yeah, that's fine. But if you did have, if you were not in the US, you could then like click deposit and deposit directly from the Ethereum blockchain. But that's probably not what we're trying to do. Let me think. Over on Matic, there's a couple. Matic, pretty much everything is going to take at least a tiny amount of like Matic tokens for fees. But you know what? If you're like need enough just to cover the transaction cost for like 1 or 2 transactions, hit me up and I can just send you some from my wallet. It's not that easy to source like 50 cents worth of Matic tokens, but it is kind of a pain in the ass. So I can just send you that if you want.
I don't think I'm the KY is watching either right now. That was just in our Discord.
Well, I guess that goes for anybody. If you're stuck on some blockchain. Oh man, I fucking want to roll the dice again, but I'm just gonna close this tab. Let's not waste.
I feel like what I might do is like just decide between Ethereum and Matic. If you have $50 in both Ethereum and Matic, send one to a centralized exchange, buy the gas fee for the other one, and then send it. And then now you have gas to go play around with either Ethereum or Matic. But I'd probably choose Matic if you only have $50 because you're going to burn your gas a lot less there. So I would send my, not financial advice, because I would send my USDT from ERC20 to a centralized exchange, turn that into Matic Polygon, and then I would send that to a wallet and then withdraw the 50 USD on Polygon to that same wallet and then be able to play with it.
Yeah, let's see. What does it cost right now to send?
But
it's
also
like $3 in gas fees here to send on the Ethereum mainnet at the moment. And at the same time, we could use Polygon, and you'd be spending $0, way less in Matic. So 0.02 something. So this is like 3 cents. Or less than that even. Yeah, Matic's definitely much cheaper. Let's see, and then you can toggle back up here.
I guess we're doing top of the show stuff too. We should announce we have a new sticker drop this Friday. You can get it with 2 Neon Blend tokens. 15 will be available for blends. We have a form you can fill out. You have to basically win top 15 in a marble race to be whitelisted to use the blend tokens. Since there's only a finite amount and there are more people trying to get them than there are, that's why we do the marble race. And then we also have 70 available for fiat, $3 each. Shipping included. I believe you have to pay tax. Any sort of taxes are added afterwards. And those will be on our Shopify, which I changed the URL. I just went ahead and pulled the trigger on neon space NFT.myshopify. It's like,
oh, nice.
Part of our thing is we didn't want to, like, we're not selling NFTs here, so we don't really want NFT to be our thing. But at the same time, anything else with neon space was taken, and we can just make our own custom URL. Like, we can get neonspaceshop.com and then switch that later. But for now, it's better than like neonspace-567831 or whatever it was. Like,
yeah,
no one's going to remember that. But this is our new Shopify URL if anybody wants to check it out. neonspacent.myshopify.com. The sale is not live yet. It'll be live Friday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. We will be going live at 2:30 p.m. doing the marble race, so then you can determine if you're getting a free one or you'd like to buy one with fiat. That should be decided by 3:30. But back to Tech Talk, just in case anybody's watching, I was like, I'm going to tell I am the KY to watch this video on demand so you can see the advice we just gave him. And in case anybody else watches the video on demand, we should have our advertisement in like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's also the way that this drop is going to work is if anybody who buys from the fiat sale is entered into like a raffle to win the foil version of this sticker as well. And if you do win, you'll get the one that you bought and the foil sticker in addition. So just a heads up, this is the first time we're trying something like that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think the foils look really nice too, though. Is that,
yeah,
that's not really holographic, is it? Like
I
is
think
holographic
that's
something different?
Yeah.
So I want to call it holographic because I feel like that was like in Pokemon, you're always looking for the hologram.
Yeah, the hollow foil or whatever. Yeah,
that's just
I've heard them like interchangeable for trading cards or playing cards. Like I'm not sure.
I just always, as a kid, it was always holographic. Like that was what I always heard, even more so than like foil isn't something I even really heard until we like got into the NFT space. But I also am not like the biggest collector, but I just want to be able to color stuff.
I was thinking that the other day, like I never consider myself like a huge collector, but then like when we talk about collectible stuff on stream and like I look at like the stuff that I actually own in collectibles, it's like I am into collectibles. like I got a good collection.
You were more so into collectibles than I was before.
Yeah, I'm pretty into it. I got like a collection of like vinyl figures. I got a collection of Magic the Gathering cards. I got what are they? The Mage Knight, like the click characters that I've been like collecting forever.
You also have like a decent stuff from like your VFX desk, like
yeah, like vinyl toys, like Kid Robot stuff, like I forget the name of like these melty little rabbit characters. I don't know, they look really cool. And then just like in general,
Eric
like, figures.
Shout out to Eric.
Yeah, I never considered that as part of like something that I would use to describe like one of my hobbies, but I would say like realistically, I definitely like to collect things. I'm into collectibles. I also have a pretty massive NFT collection, which is super fun. Right now, I'm looking at the Wax ETH pool here, by the way, if anyone's wondering what I'm looking at. This is the liquidity available on the Ethereum mainnet XSwap, Uniswap.
Eric says, thanks for the PC links again, Max. I don't know what that context
is. Yeah, for sure, dude. I love that fucking spot, dude. I've gotten, I think, 4 different workstations from them. I went with the Z420.
I don't know what you're talking about, so there's no way anybody else in the audience does besides Eric. Do you want to?
Yeah, okay, here, I'll show you. Let me pull up the link that I send.
It sounds like context clues that Max showed a website for Eric to buy a computer. That's
it's not even a website. It was literally just an eBay reseller that I've used in the past. And I'll show it off. It's like a relatively large operation. This guy buys more or less at auction.
70,000 items sold. That's an eBay account right there.
This is a big fucking like business. Like I said, I've bought over the years. I've bought probably like 30 computers from this person, and they've all like been great. But this is like here, for example, this is the Z640. This is a pretty fucking solid PC, 6-core, 3.6 gigahertz. Like that's not bad at all. But let's see, like the Z420 was the one that I bought last time. So I would check that really quick. Let's see. I'll show you what I love about this fucking thing, this reseller. I have a friend who bought one of these. These are pretty solid too. And then I've stocked like full on like studios with like 20 computers and then turned them into render farms. But yeah, let me search Z420. And then there it is, HP Z420, 8-core. Okay, that's a pretty good one, but I like the faster clock speed, so I'd go for this 6-core one, the 3.5 gigahertz. And then here's what I did. So I bought this guy, but then you can like customize its settings. Okay, so this one is not quite the one. I should just share the link of the one that I sent you directly. But let's see, there is like it lets you just customize. Here it is, Z426 core. This is the one I wanted.
Those look like the fucking cases that are like when you're in middle school and they have like all those fucking like gateway like.
Oh, okay. So these cases, fuck, dude. These cases are so nice. There's no screws at all for it to work. And then You look at it on the. Oh, it doesn't have the other side. That's too fucking bad.
How are there no screws on the back?
It literally just has on the side. It just has a handle. You grab the handle and lift, and then you can pull the case apart. So you don't need like to screw anything when you're like opening this box. It's super fucking nice. And then it's held with these like green pins
I mean,
to the like metal
the
case,
screws on
and
the
it has
back.
the power unit built in. But like the way I bought these would be like I'd choose this one for the hard drive configuration. I'm just gonna say none because I don't want a hard disk drive. I only want a solid state. I would probably do a 1 terabyte solid state drive. For video card, I'm gonna use my own. So I would probably like you know these
Wait,
are
is that
kind of
adding to the price? How much
yeah,
was it
it'll
before?
add to the price.
Right.
So I just set this to none.
How much
and
was it
then I
before
set
the
the
one?
RAM.
Can you go back? How much was it before the?
Here,
Basically, how much
it
was
just
it for
updated.
1 terabyte? That's what I want to know.
Oh, so if you just say this to none, it goes from 287 to 2. It's cheap as fuck. Yeah,
You can
it's
get a
like
solid state 1 terabyte for 60
1
bucks.
terabyte solid state. Yeah. No, this guy gives you like you can't get a better deal than this in my opinion because you're getting a so for this for 287 right now. This is probably what I would buy. You would get this PC, so the case that you see in the picture, which has a built-in power unit, which I think is maybe 800 watts, but I think it's 600. But you could double check just by looking up the specs on a Z420 HP workstation. It comes with the 6-core 3.5 gigahertz processor, and then you would get it with 1 terabyte solid state hard drive, no video card, and 64 gigs of RAM for $287. So
That's
all you
crazy.
do, like all I did is I'd buy this computer, I'd spend the two whatever, like $300-ish. It comes in the mail. I then put in my own GPU, which I liked the 10 series, the GenForce 10 series. So I used a 1080 Ti in one of mine, and then I have a 1080 in another one, and then I have a 1070 in another one. All of this works with the built-in power unit, so you don't have to get anything other than the graphics card. And then the other thing I get is like an operating system. I paid for like Windows 10, I think is what I installed, and then literally just plugged this in, installed Windows on it, and there you go. You got like for I think a 1080 is like $400. So for like $600, you can build yourself like a massively powerful workstation computer that pretty much fucks.
I'm pretty sure like
clock. This is 12 threads, 6
Apple
cores.
charges like 3 times that much for a 1 terabyte solid state drive. Like,
Oh
if you
yeah,
go
you could have a hard
from like
time
a 500 mega or 500 gig to like 1 terabyte on the Apple website when you're building a computer, it like adds several $100s on your fucking order. Like, because I've been trying to build Apple computers because that's all my fucking hardware works with for music operating shit. It's just like, God, it's so expensive. So seeing you like added 1 terabyte,
full build,
like the
under
entire
$300.
the entire price of the thing was cheaper than like the add-on when you had like none and then the 1 terabyte SSD. Like the case and everything is cheaper than just adding like 500 gigs on a fucking Mac.
Yeah, it's like $60. Like all the the guys' prices are like right for what they're selling. And again, honestly, like it's kind of hard. You could find 64 gigs of RAM for around just this price. So you're getting the full build and the RAM, and it's all tested and like shipped beforehand. For
like a PC and the power supply, like that shit's not free. Like it's not free to get.
The power supply is built in. The motherboard is coming with this. The processor comes with this. The solid state drive and the RAM. So I mean, I guess if you say 0 to everything, if you just want the case, no hard drives, no solid state, no video card, no RAM, it's less than 270. But if
how much is when you add the SSD? I
RAM,
swear it goes up by like $20. Doesn't it go to 180 when you add or is this a different one than the last one?
No, this is the same one. I just have to set these to here. If I set everything to none, I guess you have to select one of the RAM. But here, if I set this to none, or can you say none? No. Okay, yeah. So it would go literally just the build with 64 gigs of RAM is 212, and then the same build with a 1 terabyte solid state goes up to 287.
$60. Cone Dog says, "Can it mine Bitcoin?" That's sort of a rigged question. Like, Bitcoin mining isn't really possible for individual users anymore because like people have so much hash power that like your individual computer isn't really going to compete against people that are running like full scale mining operations that are commercial operations, which is essentially who is effectively mining Bitcoin right now. So I would say like,
I wanna
no,
mine
but that's
Bitcoin.
like basically any computer's not gonna be able to mine Bitcoin. Whereas like you can mine other cryptocurrencies. So I would recommend like if you have a computer like this, trying to use NiceHash or something and mining more altcoins, and then it can pay you out in Bitcoin through NiceHash. So like kind of would be the answer, but I would say don't try to mine Bitcoin directly with like your home computer. It's kind of a waste of time. Like you can do like
Yeah.
XMR or like Fold Banano. There's other opportunities to mine cryptocurrency besides Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is very like kind of a lost cause to try to mine right now, in my opinion.
S9. Yeah, so that computer would probably mine Bitcoin at a rate of like maybe 50 gigahash per second on SHA-256 with these specs. And currently you can buy a 13.5 terahash miner for $70. So yeah, I mean, if you want to mine Bitcoin, buy a Bitcoin miner. And then keep in
But
mind that
also, like,
these
Bitcoin
miners,
isn't the only cryptocurrency you can mine. I think my suggestion is more realistic, where, like, mine a different
yeah,
cryptocurrency that doesn't take the hash power that Bitcoin does. Because like, it'll be
yeah,
less
exactly.
profitable because you're literally gonna spend more money on energy mining Bitcoin than you're gonna get back, whereas the other coins, you might get a higher percentage of the mining pool with less power, so you're gonna recoup your energy costs faster, in my opinion.
Yeah, what you could do if you wanted to check on your mining power for Bitcoin mining, because like Lewis said, mining Bitcoin directly is not viable for personal computers. Full stop. It's probably not even viable for like small mining farms at these current prices and the electricity costs. But what you can do is you can script mine other algorithms, such as like Zcash, Monero, whatever else is mineable with your graphics card. And then if you want Bitcoin, you can use a service like NiceHash, where what you're doing is you connect to them, you sell your computer's script mining power to somebody who wants to mine whatever algorithm they're mining with that script power, and they pay you for that in Bitcoin. So you're mining Bitcoin, but you're basically like selling your mining power on a different blockchain for Bitcoin. You're not actually mining Bitcoin
It also,
directly.
like, it hops around and it
It's
finds whatever is the most effective and the most, like, profitable, so, like, there's multiple different algorithms you can be mining on, and you're kinda jumping around when you use NiceHash, like, it'll, like, swap from one to the
yeah,
other, so
it'll swap for you. And I guess I haven't
it's
used it
very
for
user friendly as
electricity
far
for
as, like, you
long.
just hit go and then it just does it for you. That's why I like NiceHash. It was like, I didn't have to figure out what was more profitable, Monero or, like, Zcash.
Yeah.
It was just automatically switching to
It
those
just looked at your
small.
hardware and it's just like, this is what you can mine, this is what is possible to mine with it, and this is the going rate of those things. So then it's like
I think it's
this,
even above that too.
like
It's not even like
Monero is,
what is your hardware best at, it's like what's the most profitable, because if
yeah,
100,000,000 more people start mining Zcash, then it'll switch you to something else because like,
yeah.
it's not just what you're doing, it's what other people are doing too, so it's like fitting you in the best spot, so I don't know, I haven't used
Nice
NiceHash in a
actually
long
makes
time.
sense.
It's hot as fuck in Los
Have
Angeles,
yeah,
mining cryptocurrency here makes my room too hot, like, I'm already sweaty, it's
yeah.
80 degrees in my room right now, so
But NiceHash, I definitely had great experience using this years ago already. I used to use the standalone application. Now you can make an account and you can link it to your like Coinbase account, and you can mine
Mhm.
Bitcoin and have the payouts come directly into your Coinbase account, so that you don't have to pay Bitcoin mining fees or transaction fees to claim your rewards. So
That's pretty sick.
this is actually viable for people who have small hash rates or like
You didn't
little
have to pay to claim
uh,
your rewards, but you did have to pay to send them, if that's what you're talking about.
yeah, you could claim the rewards into like the claim balance, but if you wanted to send the claim balance to your own wallet, that
I
would
never
cost
had to
the
claim.
cost of,
That's not how it worked for me. Like, I input a receiving wallet, and I never claimed anything once ever. It automatically just sent it to that wallet. Like, every, like,
oh
week,
yeah,
I would
that's
just
what I'm saying. They updated the way it works since we used it, where
okay,
now
so I
it's like
haven't used it in
either
that
you have
long.
to,
Just
yeah,
to
you
say,
have to
like,
tell it, you have to submit a claim like rewards transaction, or you have to have an account so that it now it only autofills into like
I'm actually sort
wallets
of
that
amazed they did it the other way before. They must have been wasting so much fucking gas doing regular
yeah.
payments
Oh
instead of
yeah.
having
I
people
don't
claim it.
understand how the fuck they were affording to do that, because I would claim like $1.30 and I'd be paying like 20 cents in fees, but I wasn't paying the fee. But yeah, I do remember NiceHash working. They also have nice calculators on their site that lets you like,
I also wanna
uh,
say, when we were working with them, they got exploited and then recovered all the money. Like,
yes,
so,
yes,
like, as far as, like, being able to handle exploits, which is a big thing, like, I have way more confidence in NFT Hive because they successfully handled an exploit. Like seeing how people are able to react to that stuff is like huge as far as like longevity of a project. Because some projects literally die because of a single exploit, and other projects like NFT Hive 3 days later came back and his project's stronger because of the exploit. Like the exploit made him realize a weakness and like actually fixed his tokenomics a bit and like readjusted his token. So anyone that can survive a exploit, like I feel a little more comfortable like recommending them as a project to be involved in.
Let's see.
I also
Okay,
think
so it
they're
shows me.
Do you have 2 graphics
Oh,
cards in
and
your
I got,
computer?
yeah, 1065 and a 1070. So let's see. This would do just with the computer I'm using right here. I could make 1.3 euros per day.
That's also the $0 electricity cost that you can put in your electricity cost, which is pretty cool.
That's true. You'd have to
You
say
can also
I'm
change
saying
it to US dollars so I can understand what it is.
yeah, let's
The
see.
currency right there.
Why
Currency is to the left of the electricity costs.
is it saying it in euros by default? So let's say I pay about 11 cents per kilowatt hour. So if I calculate that with both of my machines running, I would be losing cents per day. But I would be losing that money in my electric bill and actually being paid out in Bitcoin. So you could still do this if you wanted to. It's just not very profitable.
Also,
but the other nice thing about this is you don't. Oh, go on.
That's also based on the current Bitcoin price. So
Yeah,
you're losing 20 cents today at Bitcoin at what is it, $27,000, whatever. But say Bitcoin goes back up to $40,000, you're now making money every day. So like what is a loss can become a profit depending on the price of Bitcoin. But there's also definitely a bit of gambling going on there because you're gambling on the price of Bitcoin going up or you're losing money. So like you do need to be aware there's a risk. If Bitcoin doesn't go up, then you're just losing money to electricity. But if you believe that Bitcoin's gonna be worth more than it is today, it might still be worth losing the 20 cents a day just to get a bigger stake in something that you believe in.
And back when I was doing my crypto mining, like I used to mine directly at like Slush Pool and F2 Pool, like actual Bitcoin mining pools. And then when NiceHash came along, I just connected my ASIC mining rig, like not even my computer, my GPU, just my actual SHA-256 miner, and just sold the mining rate, and it was more lucrative than mining directly. Because when you're mining at your pool, your profitability is an estimate based on how lucky the pool is, because you actually only make Bitcoin if your pool finds a block. If your pool can go many blocks without actually finding a new block, and therefore not actually make any Bitcoin. And then when you're selling your hash rate, it doesn't actually matter if the miner is finding anything, because you're not getting paid based on the blocks that you're finding. You're getting paid based on somebody buying the hash rate from you when you use NiceHash. So
It's
I was using that
consistent.
Yeah, exactly. I was using that just to be more consistent. Like I would, because when I was mining at Slush Pool was pretty small, and it would go like 2-3 days sometimes without finding any blocks. And then the nice thing about that though is that like if you find a blocks 3 days later, you'd suddenly get like a big fat payout, because for that whole 3-day period, I had been contributing hash rate to the pool. And basically the way that Bitcoin mining pools work is everybody who's a part of the same pool is adding their hash rate to the pool to act as a single mine. And then once that mine finds a block and earns Bitcoin from the block reward, everybody who contributed to that hash rate between the last time a block was found and the next time gets paid out the rewards of that block proportional to how much they contributed. So I was contributing 250 gigahashes per second. And so if it was running for like 3 days without finding a block, after 3 days, I had contributed like 7 petahashes or something like that. And so it would be like, okay, we just found a block. The total was like this amount of hash rate to find the block. And then of this total, you contributed this amount. So your share of this block reward is this. And that's how always mining pools work. And so again, it's consistent if you have a huge pool that constantly is finding blocks, but it does involve the luck of the draw. Like a pool has a mathematical average that it should be performing at, but it can under and overperform those averages based on luck. And so
very
you
much
kind
like
of
staking Decred.
Say again?
Very much like staking Decred.
Yeah, exactly. Like staking Decred. Yeah,
Not
where
that
it's like
anybody besides you knows.
mathematically
Like,
it should be every
that's
3
me to
months.
you comment, not to the audience. We don't need to explain how Decred works. And on top of this,
Yeah, it's basically
Before we
that
get
though.
too
It's
far.
like, there is an average that you're working with when you're mining, and when you are actually mining, you are exposed to the luck and to the like side of the average. But if you use something like NiceHash as the intermediary between you mining and you making your money, by NiceHash, I'm selling my mining rate. I don't care what the person buying it is making with it. They could, be buying it from me and mining with it at a loss because they got unlucky. I still get paid no matter what. Or if they get really lucky and they, make way more than I would have, than they would have if they didn't, that I still get paid the same amount. So using a like mining, like, I guess this isn't like a cloud mining service. This is you're selling your mining power basically
You're
using a
basically
service.
renting out your like CPU and your GPU for other people to use for their mining algorithms.
Yeah, and if you want, you could come here and buy it yourself. So you can look at the marketplace, and if you're interested in mining cryptocurrency, you can buy for one. Oh damn, you can buy one. Damn, they're at EH. I don't know what it was when I was doing this. It was terahash, and then
The
petahash was
fuck
like the
is
big
past
one.
Terra? There's an E.
They're beyond Terra now, but yeah, you can buy 1,000 petahashes per day, and this is what it costs. So for $7,000, you can buy an insane amount of Bitcoin mining power. You
I'd also
could,
like to promote an alternative if we're going to be talking about this stuff. It's the reason
yeah,
I got into Wax in the first place. You can fold
yeah,
Banano, and folding Banano is essentially what you're doing here. You're renting out your CPU/GPU to other people to solve algorithmic problems, but you're renting it out to scientists, and the scientists are crunching data from research. So, like, when you're folding Banano, you're helping scientists solve problems that could actually help the planet. I think it's a net positive to society. So like I'm a big fan of folding Banano, and they pay you Banano, which is a meme token based on what is the fucking Nano, right? Like Nano is the original one. I
yeah.
almost
Nano
forgot.
is like, yeah,
Banano is a fork of Nano, but basically you rent out your hash power to the people that are mining, and then they pay you in Banano for doing that. But that's another option that you don't need a crazy computer to do. Anybody can do. And if you want to feel like you're contributing positively to society, I feel like I'm
yeah.
contributing more to society when I'm folding Banano than I am like using NiceHash, like helping people prop up XMR and do drug deals and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So depending on how you want to approach it, these are all different. But like here, you can see there is a marketplace, and you can choose what type of algorithm you'd like to buy mining power in, and then you could buy or sell that. So here's a really fun thing too. SHA-256 is real Bitcoin. SHA-256 ASIC Boost is Bitcoin Cash. And that it used to both be the same, but when the hard fork happened and segregated witness was implemented into the Bitcoin blockchain, ASIC Boost was removed. And so you no longer can use ASIC Boost on SHA-256 to mine real Bitcoin. So understanding the difference is also like if you want to mine Bitcoin, choose SHA-256. If you want to
Really
mine,
quickly,
like
I'm the KYs in here. You're not gonna be able to if you weren't here earlier, I'm the KY. I had Max kind of answer your question about owl games and your like USDT thing. Um,
oh yeah,
but basically the summary was you can't really stake USDT without gas. Like you need some sort of gas fee to get it to a DeFi platform on Ethereum or Polygon. And like most centralized exchanges don't allow US customers to stake stuff anymore. So like, yeah, it's gonna be hard to do that.
yeah.
But if you
Actually,
want to rewatch the beginning of this video afterwards, you can watch that.
I built a DeFi strategy earlier today that lets people stake stable coins to make passive income without having to understand how it works. Let me just
I
show
also
that
really
really quick.
quickly want to
How to do this.
advertise since we're still kind of in the beginning. We got
Yeah.
Lucas, the CTO of the Wax blockchain. Like he's literally the guy, one of the lead programmers working on developing like Wax DeFi and the technical side of the chain. He will be on our stream 1 week from today, so I'm super excited about that. So if you are interested in the sort of technical stuff, we literally got the guy that like technically operates the Wax blockchain or like is the what does CTO even stand for? Chief
Chief
Technical
technical
Technology
officer. Yeah.
Officer?
Technical usually, technology maybe, and then yeah, officer.
That's gonna be one of my questions because when I looked it up, it says like technical or technology. I'm like, I don't know which one it is, but anyway, very very relevant to our tech talks, and we're excited to talk to Lucas. I've kind of been bugging him in Telegram for like months now, and like he gives me like bits and pieces of the information I'd like to hear, but we're very interested in Wax DeFi, like the Wax-E/Ethereum pool and Wax G and all the governance stuff, and he really has the insight on what they're trying to do with that, and they're trying to pivot that entire system this year. So we're likely going to ask him like, can you elaborate on what you're pivoting into? Because like we're actively participating in that stuff, and like, you know, as like someone who's interested in the future of wax, but also I have money parked in there. I want to know what's happening to my money. So like I'm interested from someone who's like, you know, a fan of the wax blockchain, and also this is a personal investment of mine. So I'm very like very interested in his answers to these questions. So we'll be doing that next Tuesday if you're interested in this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Here's just because you brought up staking stablecoins, I wanted to create a strategy for that on the blockchain, and you can see here the publisher of the strategy is me, Neon Max, and so I built this DEX vault. This one's on Arbitrum, but I think this works on like Binance Chain, Kanto, Phantom, Optimism, and I think they're going.
Is what, just a layer 2 of Ethereum?
Arbitrum is an Ethereum layer 2, so you just use Ethereum token as like the gas fees here.
But it just takes less of it, right?
Yeah, way less. It's cheap. I think I've never paid more than like 40 cents for a transaction on here. And then it's a layer 2 in the sense that you can use like most of all of everything that exists on Ethereum layer 1, like Curve, Uniswap, Sushi Swap, all like GMX is on Arbitrum, like huge protocols with like billions of dollars in liquidity. So it's a pretty solid place to like farm. But like here's a strategy I made. You can see it consists 50% of a USDT USDC pool, 35% of a Forex USDC pool, and 15% of a USD plus DAI plus, which these are derivative assets made by a protocol called Overnight Finance, which we don't have to get into. But effectively, all three of these pools are stable coins paired with other stable coins. So there is only stablecoin exposure to this. And then you can see in the description, I even wrote what it is. We're farming stable pools on our RBDEX, compounding 40% of the rewards into the pool while taking 60% of the reward as profit in a 50-50 Bitcoin Ethereum split. So what this is doing is, I'll actually break it down a little further because this is kind of cool. It lets you do this really simply. RBDEX, for example. So RBDEX.fi is a swap exchange that launched on Arbitrum like 2 weeks ago or something. But you can see if I go to like farms, there are liquidity pools here, such as this is the USDT USDC pool, which 50% of my strategy is in this pool. And you can see this pool is paying a 11.8 or 11.18% APR, right? Same with here's the USD plus DAI pool. It pays 26% APR. And then these APR rewards are paid in the DEX token, which is our ARX. So what the strategy does is it claims those ARX rewards and it turns them into stable coins and adds them to the pool, 40% of them at least. And the other 60%, it swaps them into USDC. It swaps them into BTC and Ethereum. And then when you come, you can literally, as someone who wants to participate, you can just come here, deposit. I guess I'll just show it off. If I connect my wallet, I can just connect. Okay, I got to be on Arbitrum network, so I'll switch over. But I thought this was really cool. I'm stoked to see if people join me in this strategy. I also haven't I just published it this morning. I haven't pushed it really on anybody trying to join or anything like that. But if I go to all vaults,
what do you get for setting up the thing? Do you get anything extra, or is it just like for fun?
I think there is. So when the harvests happen and they redistribute, there's like a 1% performance fee that goes to the person who made the vault. So I do get something, but it's nothing to write home about, I'd say.
Mocha has Mocha Twitcher. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with Mocha Twitcher. It's probably not Mocha, right? That would make sense. He says, does it zap in from a single token? So do you need to be pairing liquidity pool positions, or can you just stake a single token?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to show off right now. Now that I've logged in, it's like lost my pool. But let me find it again here. So if I just type in like USD plus, probably it'll find it because, yeah, there you go, because that's one of my pools. So now if I wanted to join this pool, I could literally just come here, fucking switch chains. Hold on. I'll just manually switch into, you have switched. Yeah, I know. I got it. Oh, it's on Binance. Okay, I want to be on Arbitrum. There we go. So once I'm on the Arbitrum chain, I can now deposit into this pool with a single asset, either Ethereum, USDC, USDT, or I can already create the liquidity pools and straight up deposit liquidity tokens directly. But if I only had USDC, I could come here and say like deposit, or here, let's see. This wallet I don't think has any.
This might be a dumb question,
have,
but are the assets wrapped on Arbitrum? Because it's like if you're using Ether as the gas token, do you have to wrap the assets, or is it just?
Yeah, it's wrapped assets on Arbitrum, and then the Arbitrum bridge is like you can bring stuff into Arbitrum pretty much immediately. It takes like 10-15 minutes to wrap it into Arbitrum, but if you want to unwrap it, there's a 7-day unwrap, like to get back to Ethereum mainnet.
You're still
if you're going
at the mercy of bridge exploits, as far as like
so
if
you
we're
are
going to
at the mercy of bridge
risk is for
exploits,
this,
but the bridge
is the risk level is not just whatever the
it's not
position is. The
just
risk level is
stable
also
coins.
if the bridge fails.
Yes. So that is important to note, I would say. And then also considering some of these assets, so USDT and USDC are brought in through the Arbitrum main bridge. FARX is bridged into Arbitrum through the FARX ferry, which is its own bridge protocol that is maintained by FARX. I would say that's another really secure bridge. And then these two are actually native assets on Arbitrum, but they are collateralized in wrapped USDC for USD plus and wrapped DAI for DAI plus. So all of these have exposure to wrapped stablecoin assets. But again, the wrap bridge works. It's not a multi-sig contract like the exploited Horizon bridge was. It's like a multi-sig with a manual layer. So like I said, it takes 7 days to unwrap assets because there is a human element where people are verifying that the withdrawal from the bridge is legitimate before they actually go through. All of that said, there's obviously, it's a DeFi ecosystem. There's obviously other DeFi protocols such as like AnySwap, Synapsis, just a bunch of different bridges that you can use if you wanted to move from Arbitrum into a different blockchain instantly. So only if you're using the Arbitrum Foundations bridge does it take 7 days, but that bridge is insanely secure as well because of that. But here, this is the cool thing about it is you can use any one of these tokens, add, let's say you have USDC, you could literally say, I'm going to add $100 or $10 worth of USDC, approve and sign the transaction, and it'll automatically split your $100 into all three of these pools in these, 50% this one, 35 this one, 15 this one. And then as you add to I already added my balance almost $1,000 into those pools. So as more people join the strategy, the total value of the strategy increases. And so as we go to profit here, the harvesting schedule increases. So you can see it harvested 2 hours ago, but it won't harvest again until 7 days from now because of how low the amount of money is and how much we're making in those ARX rewards. So what we're waiting for, or basically as more people enter a strategy like this, the more often it will compound. And again, this strategy compounds 40% of its rewards into these stablecoin pools, and 60% gets pulled into this this ETF, which is, if we view it, it's comprised 50-50 of Ethereum and Bitcoin. And once you get your reward, you can then come here and burn, and then you can decide, if you burn one of them, you can decide to burn it into either Bitcoin or Ethereum, or 50-50 of both. And then basically it's like a derivative again. So it's a cool little thing. I was messing with this. I like that it lets you build something like relatively complicated yield farming strategy that has built-in compounding and profit taking, all from a single, for a user experience, for someone who doesn't know how to maybe build a strategy like this, or who doesn't know how to do this stuff manually on their own. They can now come here and look up, all the vaults and see what kind of strategies exist, and just with one click kind of participate in them, which is kind of fun. And I don't know, I was messing with this, so it's fun to have deployed my own strategy. I'm curious to see if it'll just be me or if other people will jump into it after I've share it a little bit, because there really aren't that many just stablecoin pools. And again, being able to participate in this strategy, it's all stablecoin exposure, but we're making almost 17% APY. And again, this is split 40-60. So 60% of this is buying into Ethereum, Bitcoin. Like I could come check on this in a year from now and have an amount of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the value of all my stablecoins should have also increased. Assuming there isn't some kind of crazy exploit or one of these tokens is like involved in a hack or something. But even then, if say USD Plus were involved in a hack, 15% of my deposit is only exposed to this. So the other assets, these other pools, would be unaffected by an exploit on one of these. But yeah, this was kind of cool. I thought this was fun. And again, I really like if I go to, you can see, I'm the publisher of the strategy. I wrote up this stuff. I created the strategy entirely. So it's a cool product here too. The set is Dex Vaults, and you can you don't have to use like I did RB Dex for the value, but you could like do this across any DeFi exchange or whatever. And I don't know. I really like this kind of thing, especially because I do these strategies personally and like I do this shit manually. So being able to have a protocol do it automatically and then publish it so anybody else can participate, so that my so that my compounding schedule gets more consistent. Great. Like I don't even care about the like making the here that says owner of the strategy receives 1% of the total take profits on each harvest. So of the 60% of the yield, I make 1% of whatever that is. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting concept. And again, this is just a very straightforward stablecoin strategy, but I could, or anybody could, build very elaborate strategies here. And then make them basically one-click participatable to anybody by publishing them. So that's kind of an interesting concept. But yeah, let me start off by looking over at the crypto charts today. Looks like Ethereum 1775. What did I just click? I thought I was clicking X on like a little pop up in the bottom right here, but whatever. What did I click? Whatever. Let's take a look here. So we're looking at the Ethereum chart right now. I'm going to take off my, actually, let's leave on my range targets right now and take a look at how we've done this week. So it looked like so last week we got kind of a bounce after, so this like red area and this like bear and bull flip happened right as the FOMC meeting happened last Tuesday, where the FOMC numbers came in from the Federal Reserve and the federal interest rate.
The last protocol before we get into this, he says, "Can you rebalance or is it locked in?" That's Mocha Twitcher.
For which one? Oh, for this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rebalance of the percentages is now locked now that the strategy is published. But you don't have to join my strategy. You can come here and say create a vault, and you can create your own strategy. So you can say, I'm going to start with a liquidity farm. Let's say you also want to use RBDEX. So I'm going to say RBDEX. And then let's say I want to use like a USD SD. So here's all the pools.
Those percentages do not change once it's been created.
Yeah, they are locked in when the strategy is published. But again, you can create your own version of my own strategy. Like you can literally take the same pools I took, like select the USD Plus pool, add another one. So if you want to cut like someone else out of the 1% fee, you can literally take the same strategy they did.
Just make your own.
And make your own. But again, unless you're supplying a good enough amount of liquidity to make the auto compounding happen on regular intervals, it makes sense if you have a small bag to participate in someone else's position,
because you'll actually earn more based on
because the compounding will happen. Like with my strategy, I put $1,000 in on my own right now, so it's happening once every 7 days. If I put in $80,000, it would happen once every hour.
I would say the downside to the percentages not changing is like if something loses peg and you have a bunch of stable coins, you're about to get wrecked. Because like, I mean, you probably would anyway, but like the percentage, like if you don't have to hold 30% of an asset that's losing its peg, then like you'll probably do a little bit better in a pool that's like doing that way, But I don't know. If you're holding stablecoins and it loses its peg, you're kind of fucked no matter what. Like any pool you're on, like there's not a good situation to be holding stablecoins that lose their peg. But you can go back to the other thing. I just wanted to finish that question because
here, this is really quick. I'm just saying this. This is literally the same thing that I just built. So you could say 50% to this one. I did 15% to this one, and then let's see, this will be there 35. And then you can say as a reward token, I want to take profit in, and you can choose what you want. I chose 50-50 Bitcoin and ETH. If you wanted to have it pay out in mostly cash, I would take the Gray Swan ETF. So this is 80% USDC, 20% Ethereum. This one is 80% Ethereum, 20% USD. So you can check these by checking the fund. But like, let's say if I want my strategy, like just like mine, it pays into Bitcoin ETH 50-50. So choose that. And now you can say create. Once you've created this, when you have, when you're on the DeFi Vaults page here, you can go to My Vaults and you'll see your own vaults here that are not published. And then you can change the allocations. You can add another farm. You can remove farms. So you can do all this stuff within your own wallet. The only reason to publish is to then open it up for more people to join you so that you can raise the total value of the strategy so that you can increase the frequency of the compounding. But yeah, this is kind of a fun little tool. And again, if you're on Binance Smart Chain, for example, you could do this on Binance, and you jump over to Binance, you go on to create a vault here, and then you can come Binance and you can see I guess it won't load Binance because I'm on Arbitrum, but you can see like here, there's different exchanges. Like I could use the Solid Lizard, like the Sliz exchange that I was fucking with, and I could use pools from there. And like some of these pay ridiculous APRs. If I want to farm this pool, but I want to take profit into a different token, I could literally create a strategy that's just this one pool. It takes 100% of the profit, and then it pays me in US dollars mostly. So I could do this, and then just this alone will be like, okay, now this pool is automatically taking rewards, selling them into half and half ETH and Bitcoin, and that's it. That's all it does. So this is like a
Older Magic. He says, how long are you locked for? Is there a locked time frame, or can you pull out instantly?
You can pull out in and out anytime you like. So with these, it's literally just yield farming. So it's like an aggregator for yield farming. So this is the same as if you were to come over to like RBDEX directly and just supply liquidity to this pool. And then you'd be earning, the APR, which you can then pull your liquidity anytime. You can take your APR rewards and sell them whenever you want. There is no vesting periods for liquidity mining or yield farming.
Also, good evening to Pop and Stock. We haven't gotten to the Funko part of our stream yet, and at this rate, it'll be a minute, but Funko had a drop today, so
yeah.
Shout out to our Funko fans, our Funko fam.
I'm gooning out too hard about liquidity mining strategies. It's also fun just to see what people do participate in. Like if I go to the main page here, let me clear the ones that aren't on the Arbitrum chain, but I can see like, oh damn, this one has $46,000 in it now. And you can see what's going on here is this is taking the ARX USDC pool, and then it is paying no profits. So it's just automatically compounding that position. So this is, it says right here, 100% auto compounding. So what this is doing is you can see here in the performance, there is, all these people deposited in here now. And so when I look at the profit thing, you can see it took harvested an hour ago. It's going to do it again in 6 minutes. So this is going to keep compounding over and over and over again to basically deepen this liquidity position. Here's another pool that's literally the same pool, only this one is taking profit. So it's compounding 50%, and the other 50% it's paying out. And if you want to see what it pays out in, you just click on the profit side here, and you can see it's paying out in GS ETF, which stands for the Gray Swan ETF. So this one I know for sure it's 80% USDC. So this one is taking 50% of the daily compound rewards, which this one also is compounding relatively often. Like it'll do it again in 5 minutes. And then it'll take, instead of putting all that money back into this pool and continuing to auto compound, it'll only put half of the money back into the pool. The other half will get turned into this ETF, which you can see looks like this, as its composition is 80% USDC. And then again, if you'll get paid in those tokens, which you can come over here to burn, and you can redeem either the USDC or the Ethereum or both when you choose to cash out. So it's a nice, really simple way to not just auto compound a position, but you can build in a take profit strategy to your liquidity mining. And you can split it between multiple pools. Like, sure, this one's only doing a single pool, but like mine is 3 pools. This one is 3 pools. So it makes relatively complicated yield farming positions pretty straightforward, and effectively lets you build a bot that, you know, is just constantly compounding for you. And again, the compounding rate has to do with the total value locked. So again, publishing a strategy so more people can deposit into it makes it you know, more lucrative because it makes the compounding happen more often. It's a really cool little product here, fun project that they just like. I'm just getting into this. I like what they've built here. So this is cool. And it makes relatively complicated things pretty straightforward. Like, you don't even have to know about where to put this thing. And again, you know, it's paying an insane amount of like, I mean, this is APY. So 2.7 million % APY is fucking nuts.
This might be a good transition.
Yeah,
2 questions. Okay. How long has Dex Finance website been up and running for? And the second one, which is our transition question, is, do you have an idea for Bitcoin and Ether for today? Which I think chart reading is part of today, so that's probably
let's take a look at that.
What about how long?
First question. RBDex launched, I think we're on day 11. So this is
what about the previous one, the other one that you were on that other website?
Oh, Solid Lizard, Sliz.
Not Sliz. The thing that you're describing for like the last. That like
Dex Faults. This is a what is it called? Dex Faults. This is a part of like Dex Finance, and Dex Finance has been around for a minute. They've launched initially, I think, on Binance Smart Chain, but you can read their docs. They have multiple audits, and I forget exactly when they launched.
So they've been around for a few years. This is not a brand new DeFi protocol.
No, this one's been around. It's just recently like adding support to Arbitrum, and Arbitrum I'd use more than like Phantom and Optimism I use. Binance Smart Chain I don't really use, and Canto. This is part of the Atom, like the, what is that called? The Cosmos like ecosystem, which I guess Binance Smart Chain is also part of that ecosystem.
I think Boulder's probably, if I had to guess, trying to judge like what the risk is here, and you know, if there's a shit ton of money locked in there for 3 years, nobody's stolen it, that makes the risk a little bit less. So like, that's my guess is why he's asking. It's because, like, you know, brand new protocols are much riskier than things that have been time tested.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, a little bit more risky than some of the other like versions of these auto compounding protocols, because it pays out in this ETF thing, which is, you know, like 50-50 split, and the balancing act of those types of assets can be subject to exploit. It has in the past. Like index tokens that, you know, are comprised of their underwritten assets have been exploited through that rebalance. Like how I was saying, you can withdraw either USDC or ETH because it lets you do that kind of a swap within its own composition. It has potential to be exploited where, you know, if the math isn't 100% sound, there are versions of like someone withdrawing all the Ethereum and that leaves only USDC, and then like fucking with the price like feed in a way that lets them like empty those pools. So there's definitely DeFi risk with stuff like this. And like you saw, my position has about 1,000 USDC in it. I'm not like putting all of my stables in this, but I am interested in testing it out. And I do see like the audits that I read seem to like suggest that it's relatively sound. Cleric is the auditor, and they've audited many protocols that I've used for years. I don't think that they would give it the passing audit and give it the recommendations that they gave it, putting their own reputation on the line. This isn't like a small time auditor. Cleric is huge crypto DeFi audit like firm.
All right, let's do some chart analysis. I think that's fair enough for saying it's safe enough. The other thing before we get into this, we don't have our banner going since we have our new look, but it says not financial advice. So even though you're asking us if we have an idea for Bitcoin and Ethereum, we cannot predict the future. We don't have a crystal ball. We can't tell you if it's be worth more tomorrow. We can try to teach you the tools that Max uses to predict stuff, but the predictions can still be wrong. So please do not just throw your money around because some dude on the internet told you to. But at the same time, there are ways to kind of indicate whether stuff is going up or down, and that is what we're trying to teach you, so you can do it yourself and not have to listen to people on the internet. I know you probably know. I just have to do that disclaimer so people aren't hitting me up in Discord saying I lost all my money because I listened to Max on your Twitch stream. So I don't want that to ever happen. So we have to do that disclaimer.
Some degen shit. But yeah, let's take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum for the week here. So I'll start with Ethereum because Ethereum's kind of the one we look at most and are kind of familiar with at this point. But here's the Ethereum market on the daily chart. When we look at the daily chart, what that means. Thanks for the, thanks for that. I figured sub or follower. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just give you a quick overview of what I'm looking at. This is TradingView. I've chosen here at the top, you can choose which asset you want to look at. So I'll actually just show it from scratch really quick here because some people might not be so familiar with how to get here or how to make it look like this.
Thank you for the follow, Mohammed.
If you just Google TradingView, TradingView is or TradingView Plus or whatever here. Oh no, it's not TradingView Plus, is it? TradingView. Why does Bing default to my thing? TradingView.com is the website we want to go to.
As also on TradingView, not like the first result from Google.
Fucking Bing.
Also, look out. That's literally how scams happen in crypto. People have lost all of their wax from clicking on fake wax wallet sign-ins because Google will allow scammers to advertise on the top of their page. It's kind of fucking crazy. So definitely look out for that space.
That's actually a good point to make too. If you are constantly doing crypto stuff like I am and like a lot of people are, bookmarking websites is a really
I bookmarked all of the DeFi protocols I'm involved in because I'm not trying to Google that shit because if you go to the wrong one, you lose all your money.
So to do that, you can literally just click the star here, create a bookmark, and then you have a bookmark list. And then if you're ready to like visit a website, you just check your bookmarks and then click it from your list, and you won't get fished.
How bookmarks work. This is Tech Talk, but
most people, we don't have to get too simple about it. But let's show how to set up TradingView. So if you're going to TradingView, you don't need an account. You can make a free account, and that will give you access to like a few indicators and stuff. But I think you don't need a paid account for sure to do exactly what I'm doing. Aside from the Maxi indicator, which that's like my personal one. But what you'd want to do is you'd come here at the top. There's a product section and then charts plus. And then it launches into whatever the default chart is probably something like Apple or Microsoft or something. But you can swap up here. You can go over to crypto, or you can just leave it on all and then type in ETH, ETH. And then you can see all the different like exchanges and stuff where we're looking at. So what I'm looking at right now is Ether, US dollars on Coinbase. So I chose this one because Coinbase is a pretty massive exchange by volume. And so like the price action on Coinbase is pretty representative of the general market. But if I'm going to be trading on a different exchange like Gemini or something, I might like chart directly on the exchange I'm using by switching to this one, which now I'm looking at Gemini. But yeah, so you choose your chart here. I'm going to stick with Coinbase for now. And then you can click on this indicators section. And I've added the SRSI. So if you type SR, it'll come up with Stochastic RSI. That's what I have here. And I've also added on balance volume. So if you type in again, OBV, EV, you get the on balance volume. That's the indicator I have down here. And then the last indicator I'm using is an invite only script here, which is the Trading Buddy. That's from that's like a members only kind of script, but I love using it, so I'll just use it on stream. It's the one that Sid and I built over like the last 4 years and launched as part of our Maxi.io thing. So we'll talk about that some other time, I think, though. Anyway, so right now we're looking at the chart. Then I'm up here is the time frame. So right now it's set to days. So what that means is that each one of these candles is now one 24-hour period. And currently it looks like we are, get out of here, we are bouncing off of this orange line that we had marked out as our resistance months ago at this point. And so what we saw after the FOMC meeting is we did get a little bit of a sell-off, which is what I was kind of expecting, but then we've bounced back here pretty aggressively and have now, so let's show off these color lines that I drew. So we have this green, orange, red. This is one range that I've been tracking, and we had been in this range for a long time here. And then the other range is also green, orange to red. That's up here. This range is what we've broken into this week. So you can see once we were stuck, between these two ranges for multiple weeks. Then we broke as the news for the FOMC meeting kind of came out, and then we kind of bounced right back, right through the bottom of that, or through the support level, right to the basically the support here, or the resistance here, which had then flipped to support, and we pushed to the next resistance level. Since then, all week, we've kind of been testing this level, which is right around 1750 to 1800 per Ethereum. And what we're looking for now is for this level to either, decisively become the resistance. It currently is resistance. We're not able to close above it. We're closing, chopping around it for a while. But we're looking for it to close either above, a full day above this 1750, or we're looking for it to become resistance where we get rejected, at which point we'll most likely retest first this range, then start dropping back here. And then if this does not hold, I do expect we'll push back down into this old range, possibly make lower lows, but it's still kind of sending mixed signals this week. So looking at the chart, what we want to know is the coming week going to be up or down? So the indicators I've added, the SRSI is on the bottom end of its range here. It's kind of moving outside of this blue center range to the oversold side, meaning if we're on the bottom here, we can flatline, like it has flatlined here for a little bit. And, you can notice it hit the bottom and then fell much further still. So it doesn't mean we're going to immediately bounce on the bottom, but it does kind of give us an indication that, hey, the market wants to buy back and bounce up again on this time frame. And then the other indicator we've added here is the on-balance volume. So I like to use a conjunction of all of these indicators to make my opinion. What I want to see out of the on-balance volume is climbing trends that go along with climbing prices, or climbing on balance volume that goes along with flat or downward price action. That would indicate a bullish breakout is kind of looming, kind of indicates basically accumulation is happening. But what we're seeing right now isn't necessarily that. You can see that the spot price is actually higher than it's been in the past month or so here currently, right up here, but the unbalanced volume is actually lower. So this is more a bearish indicator to me. It's showing me that, yeah, sure, while we are trading at a higher spot price currently, we're doing so with less volume, with less money in these markets. So the money is, what that kind of indicates is money's left the market since the last time the prices were around here. So let's see, how's that style out to last time we were hovering these prices. Would probably be, let's see, we were touching right around here. And then around here, you can see, oh yeah, on balance volume, much higher. Before that also, over here, I'd say we tapped that support a few times. And so if we look at what the unbalanced volume was here, where we were tapping these ranges versus to what it is here, we are lower than we were then. And that is more or less bearish, although it's not like dramatic. So it's not, by no means is it like a glaring signal that like, oh shit, this is for sure going to dump. So to get a little bit more of a clear idea, I'm going to zoom out further and go to the weekly chart. So now each one of these candles represents 1 week. And to lose some clutter, I'm going to click the eyeball here to get rid of my lines. So on the weekly chart, you can see the Maxi indicator did a really good job of calling the top of the market back here where the bands flipped. We got our bear print. And since then, we've kind of been retesting that middle line, but getting rejected on the way down. Again, each candle here is 1 week. So this is quite a while that we're looking at here. And generally speaking, during the bull market, the strength band here indicates the support levels where you can actually see, even though we did get a bear print, we never flipped the band to red and then we bounced off of it and continued up. Once the band flipped to red, it did become that resistance level. And you can see in the past few months here, we've been toying with that resistance level and finally have started to flip it. We haven't seen the bull print yet, but we have flipped the band to green on the weekly. So I'm getting quite some mixed signals from this chart at the moment. If I'm getting a bull print plus this green, that is very much a good indication for me that the markets are starting to turn on the longer time frame. But we can see here on the weekly chart that the stock RSI is on the overbought side, dramatically high. It, like, again, now this is kind of telling us it wants to sell off a little bit. And then if we look again on balance volume down here, we are around price range where we were here, and similarly as before, the on balance volume is not making a higher high. We haven't really seen a higher low here either. I'm just going to double click it so you can see during the whole bear market we're just falling, like, made a low, came back up, that's lower than the last high, made a lower low, came back up, still lower than the last one. This, I guess you could call this a lower high, or a higher low, sorry. This is a bit of a higher low, but then it failed to make a higher high. So it more or less invalidates this. And then what do you know, we made another lower low. So then here we are now making a new high, but again, it's a lower high than the previous ones. So none of this is showing me a very bullish sentiment just yet. But again, it's the weekly chart. These sentiment, this one updates a lot slower. It's going to show us kind of like the longer term trend when it comes in. We'll be able to see it pretty clearly here. But for now, still looking kind of bearish. So what I'm going to do in order to fully bias my opinion here is switch over to take a look at the macro picture by looking at the SPY, which this is the S&P 500 index. It tracks the general stock market. So this gives me an idea of how equities are moving in general, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have moved with the equity market really well. So I'd like to see this also moving down. And what do we know here? We're on the daily chart. We are still in the red. We're still closing below the support, the strength lines here. We're on the overbought end and clearly not making higher highs or higher lows on the on balance volume, which you can see. Look at this, is pretty much just trading in a range, more or less flat, but look at the on balance volume is just leaving the market. So more and more money leaving equities still. This is still very bearish in my mind. And so for now, I'm seeing a bearish indicator on the daily charts here. I'm seeing bearish kind of indications in the on balance volume and in the stock RSI. I'm seeing that we're a little bit on the overbought side. So all of that is going to help inform my opinions on crypto, to suggest that we're not out of the woods, but we are trying to be. So let's take a look at the daily one more time. We're right around 1775. I am looking for this week. Let me bring back my levels here. Where's the eyeball? There it is. This blue is hiding. So again, we have our support levels. I'm looking for this 1750 to 1800 range to become resistance. Personally, I think we are going to continue to keep this resistance level and be rejected, and likely retest some lower levels here around 1550 before possibly bouncing and moving up higher. Mostly that's informed by the weekly chart being so overbought, by the by the SPY being a little bit on the like bearish looking end of things, and by the fact that we saw the FOMC meeting update increase the federal interest rates by 0.25%, which was in line with initial projections by general like market analysts. But those analysts kind of changed their tune in the wake of the Silicon Valley Bank collapse and Signature Bank, and like what, there's a third one, like 3 major banks dumping within the course of like 2 weeks, made some of the market analysts think that the Federal Reserve would ease off on the federal rate hikes, which those rate hikes are part of a longer term strategy by the Federal Reserve called quantitative tightening, or QT. So as this QT continues to ramp up, it puts more stress on banks that are, on the verge of failure, is the assessment of a lot of market analysts. And so their opinion pre-FOMC meeting was,
QT, this might be a dumb question, but is that them increasing the interest rates? And that's basically what's screwing the banks that bought those bonds at lower interest rates? Is that what that is, or is that something totally different?
That's exactly what that is. QT is raising.
I kind of understand what you're talking about. I'm learning. I wouldn't have known what you're talking about like 3 weeks ago, but I'm learning.
Yeah, that's why we do this once a week, so we can kind of build off some of these like concepts, because it's insanely complicated. Let's
also have another question from Mohammed. He said after the news today, will the BNB coin, like, what do you think is going to happen to that? Do you think it's going to be the same thing that's happened to Ethereum, or do you want to look at the BNB chart?
Yeah, let's look at BNB.
It says specifically he's a trader on Binance, so he's just specifically interested in what's going on Binance. I don't know if Binance had any separate news, or if he's talking about the news as the FOMC stuff. He said after today's news, so I don't know if something specifically happened to Binance.
The FOMC news was like last week. I think Binance news today is.
I know Binance. They recently said they're dumping a bunch of their stable coins and buying crypto, so that was a pretty like bullish sentiment, and that also like. They bought a shit ton of their own token with those reserves, so they pumped the shit out of their own token for like they sold their stable coins and then bought. Like you saw that happen, right? Like they're like, we're getting rid of like 80% of our stablecoin reserve, and like a large portion of that they just bought BNB with. So like when that happened, they pumped the price of their own token. I guess somebody's saying they're getting sued today. I don't know. Boulder says Binance was sued. So how do you think that will affect the price? I guess is the question.
Let me pull up some of my news here. I've pulled some of these Twitter things for Binance into.
Well, I'm glad you guys are here, because I didn't even know there was a lawsuit against Binance. I would have stood here talking like a fucking idiot, being like, yeah, the news from Binance was 2 weeks ago when this shit happened. Yeah. Of course, in crypto, you can't sleep on the news for like 12 hours or shit happens.
Oh, yeah. No chance. Let's see what we want to look at. There's a few big things happening in DeFi this week, like the Euler protocol hack, $200 million stolen there, and then being returned mostly. And then I think the big news out of Binance today is. Say again?
You say the Bueller? What was the name of that?
Oh, Euler, EUILER.
Not quite as cool. I was thinking of Ben Stein. Bueller.
Euler. Yeah, no, the Euler protocol is it's like a money management kind of like money market style protocol.
I don't want to get you off track. Let's go back to Binance stuff.
It's a whole thing, yeah. But so BNB token recently got not necessarily sued, but like the paperwork is started rolling for potentially being sued for managing unregistered securities by the SEC. It's kind of an interesting topic, because I don't think that the news itself is obviously not great news. You don't want to be sued by the SEC, but at the same time, the SEC is just kind of like lashing out at crypto in general. And it's a little hard for me to take some of these lawsuits seriously when they're suing kind of like anybody and everybody. And then when they do go ahead with a lawsuit like they did with XRP with Ripple, they didn't have reasonable grounds to sue them, and Ripple won that lawsuit. And if any of these tokens is an unregistered security, I mean, Ripple fits the fucking bill. So it's hard for me to think that like, oh, this news is like the nail in the coffin for BNB, especially because the SEC only has authority over crypto if crypto is in fact a security. And if it isn't, then it's the FDIC or whatever. No, not the FD. That's Food and Drug. That's the it's like a 4-letter acronym that trades like commodities and regulates that. So basically in the United States regulatory system currently, lawmakers cannot decide how to define cryptos, and every agency wants to kind of like enact their authority over something that they possibly don't have authority over. So the SEC would have zero say over suing a cryptocurrency if the cryptocurrency isn't defined as a security. The Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, has jurisdiction over securities. So if it's not a security, then it means nothing. Like so it's a weird kind of like the regulatory framework of. Marcy, seriously, girl. The regulatory framework that governs cryptocurrencies and their categorization within the United States is unclear, to be kind of like gentle about it. And that risk, I would say, is generally understood by big crypto traders and semi-priced in already. So when this news like today drops about SEC like filing, these types of like the preliminary steps to suing Binance for securities fraud or securities unregistered
People in the
security.
chat are saying, did the Ripple thing just happen? Did Ripple win? Did that just happen?
Oh, Ripple, they won months ago already. Like that suit got dropped, as far as I heard. I'd been following, and
That kind of sets a precedent for some of these other things, though. Then, right? Like if they can
yeah, exactly. It set a precedent, and again, Ripple does 100% represent. Like they take Bitcoin deposits and then they represent Bitcoin on their own network, and then they, so there is this whole thing. But then if you read their white paper, just like BNB tokens white paper and stuff, they have this language in there that says, XRP token has no value, and we don't assume it has any value. It doesn't represent ownership of anything. It doesn't give you rights to do anything, i.e. it's not a fucking security. And when that comes to court, like that kind of language matters, and it seems to still be very much in the air what is and is not a security in the crypto space. So even NFTs are in the sites, like NFTs in general are in the SEC sites where they're trying to be like, oh, anyone selling NFTs is issuing unregistered securities. I mean, I would say that's nonsense, but I also don't have the authority. And so the person who needs to say that that's nonsense, as far as legislation goes, has not said anything. So basically, it's up to Congress. Yeah, it's
painting and sell you a painting. Is that an unregistered security? Like,
yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh, if I play World of Warcraft, and yeah, if I have a giant farm in World of Warcraft, I make 8 million gold per day. Do I owe taxes on that? Like, the answer is fuck no. It's a video game. So
I also want to correct
again. Yeah, there's.
Uga said that the results have not come out for the XRP case. He said the judge is deliberating the last few days. The case is ready. Result to come out at any time, and it's starting to pump because people are speculating that it'll win. But according to Uga, it has not actually been finalized.
Okay, I keep seeing a lot of like jubilant news about XRP.
People have been talking about it for like 6 months, so it's hard for me to know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's been going for a while.
I haven't paid close enough attention yet, but I don't. I mean, it does set quite the precedent. If it is not a security, then like most cryptos would be safe. If it is a security, that honestly wouldn't surprise me. It does fit the bill a little bit. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to it's up to Congress to make real laws to define things clearly for legislation to continue to move forward. And Congress more or less just like drags its feet and then asks all these other like, oh, hey, the Federal Reserve, like, what is crypto's role in our economy? And this is like, I don't know. That's up to you to make the fucking laws. Like, I'm the Federal Reserve. My role is this. And then like, hey, SEC, what should we do about crypto? Like, I don't know. Well, is it a security? If it is, then we can step in. But again, it's like up to Congress to decide, and they just haven't. So we'll have to see. I think these legal precedents will be a big deal. Like when XRP's verdict comes out, I'm sure we'll hear about it. So again, I thought it had maybe already come out against it, which surprised me. But that lawsuit has been in the works for like 4 years or something. Like that's been going on for a long time. And it's crazy that they just can't seem to figure it fucking out. But let's all of that said, I would say there is a good amount of risk.
Where he says Binance doesn't let US people do cool shit anyway, so the SEC can get their ass.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. So that's why the Binance exchange limits US customers. It's not because it's not allowed in the United States. It's because it's so fucking unclear in the United States what is and isn't allowed that they're not going to jeopardize their business by engaging in things that are unregistered security actions. And so again, I don't think that they are doing much of that, and that it is, that there's legitimate grounds for people to claim Binance token is an unregistered security. I do think that Binance Exchange has a decent, you have a decent reason to believe that they are doing similar money kind of moves that FTX or Celsius or all these other failed now institutions were doing, where they use their own token to basically prop up values within their own ecosystem. And that is a concern, I would say, specifically for like Binance US dollar, like BUSD. When that first hit the market, it was issued by a verified like company. The Paxos company is the same company that makes Paxos dollars or Pax Gold and issues them on the Ethereum mainnet. And they keep a reserve 1-to-1 in dollars of every BUSD that they mint. But all of those BUSD tokens are minted on the Ethereum blockchain. When they are then brought over and bridged into the Binance Smart System chain, Binance Smart Chain, they, there's BUSD on Binance that are backed by BUSD on Ethereum, and the BUSD on Ethereum is backed by Paxos, by real dollars. But there are also BUSD tokens issued on the Binance blockchain that are issued without a BUSD Ethereum backing. And therefore, it could mean that there are uncollateralized Binance dollars in circulation, which then can cause a similar collapse to what we saw with something like Terra Luna, or like more recently FTX, where basically the numbers of value, like the value of the token, is inflated by uncollateralized assets that are just minted by or issued by Binance. So when people, for example, withdraw Bitcoin from their Binance account onto the Binance Smart Chain, it turns into WB, like wrapped Bitcoin on Binance Smart Chain. When you trade WBTC on Ethereum, there is a open source wrapped Bitcoin protocol where there is a Bitcoin address that holds the counterpart on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, when I trade wrapped Bitcoin on Binance chain, I can't be positive that there actually is Bitcoin 1-to-1 backed up on the Bitcoin network that represents that wrapped Bitcoin, because wrapped Bitcoin is issued on Ethereum, not on Binance Smart Chain. And again, all of the wrapped Bitcoin that is issued on Binance Smart Chain isn't necessarily backed 1-to-1 with wrapped Bitcoin on the Ethereum network. This verifiably is the case with the Solana blockchain, and there is millions of dollars of Bitcoin that was minted and issued onto Solana's blockchain by FTX, the exchange, who has since gone under. And those wrapped Bitcoin assets that they put onto the Solana ecosystem no longer have Bitcoin backing. So, careful. Like that kind of a thing can be the case on Binance Smart Chain, and is a part of why I tend to not use Binance very much. Like I prefer like public blockchains, and I've been burned by the hacks and bridge exploits in the past. So I keep most of my value on Ethereum mainnet, and any wrapped tokens, like what I'm doing over on Arbitrum, for example, I only participate in layer 2s where the wrapping is verifiably, like I can see how much USDC is, for example, on Arbitrum, and then I can look on a blockchain Ethereum address and see that USDC exists on Ethereum and is locked in the counterpart wallets that are the counterpart to the wrapped assets.
That's
and because
also
that's not always
true to
clear
the
to
wax
me.
bridges. Like the wax bridges, you can just go look, and there's a bunch of money sitting in them, so that's pretty like obvious
Exactly.
money there.
And so with Arbitrum, it's the same, except for, you don't just look at one bridge. You'd have to look at the Arbitrum bridge, Synapsis, AnySwap, like any of the bridges, all of them that are operating in the space. And once you look at that picture, you can actually tell yes or no, the tokens trading on this blockchain are or are not collateralized, either directly because they're native coins or by Ethereum counterparts on the Ethereum
I do
mainnet.
think like long-term bridges are not like the DeFi solution. Like I think bridges are a temporary solution because we don't have the tech to do what bridges are actually trying to do. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, the longer I do this, the more I'm just like, bridges don't make any fucking sense. And it's like, you're creating a honeypot for exploits.
Yeah.
And like, the entire point of all this stuff is decentralization, not your keys, not your crypto. So if you're going and then sending your crypto to a smart contract where you don't hold the keys, like you're trusting a centralized. The whole reason I'm taking my money out of centralized exchanges is because I don't have access to the keys and they can freeze my crypto. Same shit can happen in like in a bridge. So like using a centralized point of failure to use a decentralized protocol is just like the antithesis of doing DeFi and doing decentralized stuff. So I sort of feel like bridges just like don't make any fucking sense in the context of DeFi. Like if you're trying to do decentralized things, bridges are the most centralized things you can do. So like you're literally just like throwing your shit into another centralized protocol to participate in a decentralized protocol.
Yeah, I agree. So it's definitely a like there is a risk profile there to using any of the layer twos, and I would say that risk is a little bit more amplified, in my opinion, on Binance Smart Chain, because Binance is a very much centralized authority behind all of that stuff. Whereas some of these other layer twos, such as Arbitrum or Optimism, yes, there is a honeypot similar to that, but it's not behind some, centralized order book that isn't directly deployed on a blockchain. Like I
Also,
said,
automation is a big problem with exploits because you can't stop them. So if there's a 7-day withdrawal period, they can see if something's funky happening before the money's all gone.
exactly. Yeah. And that's the Arbitrum bridge is like 7 days it's frustrating if you're trying to move quickly, but if the like bridge, like Lewis is saying, bridges are not a great long-term strategy or solution. So if the alternative to like quick operability is safe operability, then 7 days is not a big price to pay.
I'd rather wait
Also
7 days
consider,
than lose all my money in the fucking Harmony
yeah,
hack for like damn sure.
yeah, exactly. It really sucks to be that exposed to stuff. But all that said about Binance Chain, let's take a look at what we think would happen to the price just based on the chart. Because at the end of the day, the chart really is giving us our signals more so than any of the news. Because no matter what the news is, we can always find positive or negative stories happening that'll fit a current chart direction. But we can't necessarily just, pull up. I guess, yeah, I don't know. Personally, I like to look at the chart, is what I'm trying to get to. So looking at the chart, this is the weekly Binance chart. We're looking, by the way, at Binance USDT, and it's trading on Binance. So Binance USDT on the Binance exchange. This is the weekly chart. You can see we did kind of break out. We had been being rejected right here on the resistance level pretty aggressively. Again, each one of these candles is a full week. So we did get a little close here, and then this close is like an inverted hammer, I guess, where you have like a small body and a long straight down. Generally speaking, that's a bullish sign, which clearly we had a little bullish week after that. And since we broke into the green, each of these weeks has been red. I know the candles are green, but the candles are green because of my indicator. If I turn the indicator off, you can see those two candles are red. The indicator that I use, it actually paints everything based on the strength trend, but you can see how these green candles are outlined in red. So they are red, and what that means is that the open price is lower than the close price for the week. So for example, this candle, it opened here at the top of the fat body, and then it is currently down here, and that's why the candle is red. So since we're still moving down here on the weekly, and we're pretty close to the overbought zone, and you can see our on balance volume not making any higher highs, just kind of flatlining, really, not really doing anything. It's not a super clear indication. Let's zoom a little closer to the 1 day again, and we are right around support on the 1 day too, a little bit on the oversold side. So maybe we're going to find some support and push up again in the coming days. But again, this is part of the same macroeconomic picture that we're looking at with the SPY, and that one looks pretty bearish still. So as the equity markets continue to drop, I expect Binance Coin and the rest of the crypto market to sell off with it. It's going to be possible to see like a retest, like a little bit of a positive price action tomorrow, maybe the following day. But ultimately, during the course of this week, maybe in the week or next 2 weeks or so, I expect these markets to continue to move down a little bit. And that goes for Binance as well. Binance absolutely has, I would say, more risk to it than Ethereum, maybe, or Bitcoin, just because Binance has that central authority, Binance Exchange, who is having a hard time with some relatively not difficult things, such as producing a proof of reserve audit, which I don't understand why there isn't like a proof of reserve audit by them yet. and it worried me a little bit that the auditors who released the proof of reserve audits for crypto.com declined to work with Binance to do the same, because they wouldn't report things in a way that Binance was asking for them to. So that is a little bit strange to me. But at the end of the day, a lot of these what are they called, like audits, or a lot of these proof of reserves that get released by centralized exchanges are relatively worthless, because a lot of them are released independent of a proof of debt commitment. Because sure, you could have $100 billion, but if you have $200 billion in debt, then that doesn't mean you have much money. Like, you're actually fucked. So if like they could show their proof of reserves all day, if they're not also showing what their liabilities are, it's hard to understand if these exchanges are in fact as solvent as they claim to be. And in light of recent events, we know not to trust them. Not only can these exchanges, these huge, huge, major exchanges fail, they can do so in a matter of hours and days, and that's not. And like we saw this week, that's not exclusive to crypto. I mean, the 16th largest bank in the United States was Silicon Valley Bank, and it collapsed in 2 days. So the kind of playing field here is changing a bit, and the average investor, the average kind of like banking customer, is starting to realize that these systems are a lot more fragile than we initially were like told. You know, I'm sure you've seen Biden on TV saying like Americans banks are safe and like your money you should. I don't know if that makes people feel better, but personally that made me fucking worry. Like, I don't need the president to tell me my money is safe at the bank. That's like a huge red flag. It's like, wait, why does the president feel like he needs to say something? That kind of stuff is a little scary. And like I said, it's no longer like this tinfoil hat concept of like, oh man, my massive bank could fail like next week. We literally saw that happen last week to 3 huge banks. Like, I think almost $200 billion on their balance sheet for Silicon Valley Bank, and it collapsed in 2 days. Like, then the insolvency news came out, I think, Thursday night, and by like Saturday, the FDIC had taken over operations of the bank. So it is a new kind of age in banking. Like, the system is a little bit on the fritz, and it's showing its holes a little bit, in the sense that I think more and more consumer level investors, like retail level investors like me and you, are maybe a little bit more weary of the security of the solvency of these banks. And in the wake of 2008's massive banking bailout, I don't think the public has an appetite to bail these fucking banks out, as they should not be bailed out anyway. And so that makes it a little harder for the powers that be, like the Federal Reserve and stuff, to kind of step in and mitigate this crisis, because the way they normally do that is by using tax money to buy the bank's balance sheets out. And we, the taxpayers, aren't up for that. Like, we've seen the Federal Reserve print trillions, literally trillions of dollars over the last like few years, and give them to corporate America, while we each got like $1,600 checks. And now those same institutions are failing, and there's no way you can get away with paying them out with more taxpayer money. So it's a weird kind of like, we're in a weird headspace when it comes to like investors feeling safe with their assets. And again, we're kind of like in this world now where big, major banks can and do fail in a matter of days. And so that's a new world than we lived in like a month ago. You know, that wasn't a thing that had ever happened before. So all of that stuff, I think, kind of like helps to paint this picture of investor confidence isn't necessarily waning, but investor sentiment is like very cautious. And I would say, as interest rates rise, equity assets should take a back seat to dollars, because dollars now, I mean, look at this. Dollars are making you so much interest as the Federal Reserve interest rates goes up. We can go to our FDIC insured money markets with our regular bank here. Let's see. Yeah, sure. Just show me what you're offering. 3.575% on a money market deposit. This is FDIC insured. I could put up to $250,000 into this account and be 100% insured by the United States federal government, and it's liquid. It's a money market account, and I'm making 4% interest on that. And again, if I have millions of dollars, I could split them across all of these money markets. So I don't like the options for your money as somebody who just has cash right now to put this cash into a position like these money markets, for example, at US Bank, earn 3.5% on your money while it stays liquid, up to $250,000 insured by the federal government. These rates are as good as some DeFi rates currently are. So, where would you rather put your cash? Into like some crypto protocol with exposure to all these like DeFi risks, or into a US bank money market account that's FDIC insured up to $250,000 and pays 3.5% interest? So basically, as federal interest rates rise, it becomes more and more expensive for banks to borrow money from the government. So they'll pay you more money to borrow your money. So right now, federal rates are like 6.5%. So why not pay me 3.5% to borrow money from me instead of pay the federal government 6.5% to borrow money from them? And that's why we're seeing cash becoming more and more desirable as interest rates on a federal level rise. Banks need access to liquid capital, and they're willing to pay you a higher interest rate because it's still a better deal for them. And just like Lewis was saying, as these interest rates rise, the bonds that you could buy from the federal government, which is basically just cash that is earning federal interest over an amount of time, and you promise not to, or you can't unlock that money until the time is passed. Those bonds that were sold, like last year when the interest rates were lower, now, they're still not mature. You can't touch that money anyway, but there's new bonds that are making a higher interest rate. So those older bonds are now worth less money if you wanted to resell them. And a lot of these banks have locked up their money, their liquid money, into these longer term bonds at shittier interest rates. And now as the interest rates keep climbing, because these banks kept banking on like betting against the rates going up for some fucking reason, now they're getting like, they're feeling the squeeze. They put, let's say, $100 million into like 10-year bonds. Those same 10-year bonds are now worth like 20% less because you could buy a 10-year bond today that produces 6.5% instead of 2.1% or something. Why would somebody buy the 2.1% bond from you over the 6.5? Well, I'll tell you why, because you're selling the 2.1% at a 20% discount. So that's where these banks have lost their money, is in the price difference of the bonds that they currently hold versus the price of the new bonds at the higher interest rates. I feel like it's going to get way too complicated if I try to go too deep into like macroeconomic pictures. But for now, the takeaway here is I do think that the markets still have room down. It is starting to look a little bit more unclear to me. I mean, if you've been watching us stream on Tuesdays for the last like half a year or so, I've been singing bear market, from the hilltops every fucking week. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going down. It's going down. So I feel it is going down, but I am less confident in my assessment because the market indication is starting to change a little bit. And we can see that very clearly on the weekly chart. So I'm still on Binance, but you can see similarly, the bear market was plotted out so clearly on this indicator where, we topped out over here, but we did flip the trend like right around here. And we've been in that trend ever since. And you can see that trend starting to gain a little bit of a strength flip here. But again, I'm not seeing the bull print just yet. So I do want to see that bull print as well. And ultimately, the macro picture still looks relatively bleak. So despite the fact that crypto is starting to signal a little bit more strength on the longer term charts, the macroeconomics and what we know about how the economy is moving forward in the coming months, still we understand that environment as not necessarily favorable to cryptocurrency assets, especially when cash is becoming more and more desirable and able to produce relatively high interest rates for us without vesting terms. Like those money market rates I was showing you, that's like a savings account. Like you can put cash into that, earn the 3.5% or whatever, and then you could take that out next month. Like you're not committed for 13. It's not like a CD. It's not a bond. It's not a T-note. It's just a money market account. So sometimes there might be a withdrawal fee, or there might be like a limit to how many withdrawals you can make within a month. But generally speaking, it's really liquid to participate in those. And if you're looking for a way, if you have a lot of money and you're looking for a way to hedge your value, participating in money market accounts is the safest of safe moves. Boring, but it's safe. So all that said, all that
It's also
to say,
safer if you do it on a blockchain without wrapped assets. I'll say that.
yeah. And then it's most safe when you do it directly at like US Bank or like a FDIC insured bank. And look at like Synchronicity or Cycron or whatever, 4%. That's not bad. I'm not so familiar with this one, and it looks like, oh, that's a different thing here, but yeah. Oh, this one has a minimum of 250,000. I would never don't go over 250,000 if you can afford to, because the FDIC does not insure over this amount. So the US Bank one I would only participate in with the full amount or not at all. Whereas some of these other ones have zero require minimums. So you could literally do like $100 at some of these banks, which a lot of them are smaller. And in wake of the bank failures, a lot of people are weary of smaller banks, which is why smaller banks are desperate to get some more money, and we get these interest rates. So all of that to say, this week it's starting to look a little more confusing. I'm going to flop back to Ethereum. But I do think we still have a really good case for the markets turning down in the coming weeks. And the really good level to watch is going to be around 1750 to 1800 for Ethereum. If we can start closing full days above that level, that's going to start to give us much more bias towards our bullish sentiment. For now, we're going to continue riding the bearish sentiment we've been riding for months and months, but we're also going to acknowledge that bearish sentiment is starting to take a little bit of a hit from the clarity here. It's not quite as clean as it used to be. So we might start to see the market start to reverse. And again, a great move has always been and still remains to be purchasing a fixed amount of assets at fixed intervals in time. So what I do, for example, is I'll do $250 every 15th of the month, just automatic buy. So like once I finish paying off my car payment, I switched the car payment over to auto buy Bitcoin once a month. And that kind of a strategy will just go on in the background as long as you can like set that to an amount that you can afford. Like if you can do like $10 a month, great. Like set it to $10 a month, or if you can do $10 a week or whatever, great. That's like give you a better average if you do it more frequently. But ultimately, what you end up doing by setting up a reoccurring buy like that is averaging your entry price over time, and that is the best technique for entering a volatile asset class. And again, we've been watching these markets for months and months and months, and we had looked at entry level, like we were looking at Ethereum, or I'm sorry, we were looking at Wax, and we had marked these red lines here way back when Wax was like 30 cents or something. So we were like, okay, when Wax hits, 8 cents and then possibly even 4 cents, we should be interested in buying. And then when that did happen, I started buying. I bought here and then I bought again, like halfway down again. I bought some more when we kept falling. And then now that we've been climbing, I've been staking my Wax just so that I don't get tempted to sell it because I bought that stuff considering these ranges to be near the bottom targets of my bear market when I first saw us entering a bear market. So I wanted to buy near the bottom of a bear market. I probably won't be looking to sell those Wax positions until the bull market comes back into full swing, which I expect will start happening around April next year. So we still have a good long while of bear market. That doesn't mean we're going to keep selling off all year. But what I think we're going to see is at the very least just ranging up and down and kind of like volatility, if not a more steady decline and potentially lower lows in the future. But again, the sentiment is based on what we're seeing today and what we've seen over the past few months. And of course, the picture is changing every day. And so might our opinions about it. So I guess stay tuned and we'll keep updating as we keep going. But you can see, similarly here, nice and clean breakout on the daily chart for Wax, and then Wax, falling below that strength band, flipping back to red, and now it's turned into resistance where it retested and is getting sold off again. And again, it looks like we're now in between these.
People have been pretty fuddy on Wax lately. I guess like in this most recent upswing, Wax is not performing the same as Bitcoin. Like we dropped from like 150 to 220 in the market cap. Like we dropped like 70 places in market cap because we're really not performing with the rest of the market right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a nice chart to keep in mind. Is like here, if you're looking at Wax, I'm looking at Wax in terms of Tether, so dollars, but you can look at Wax Bitcoin to get a sense of how Wax is performing in comparison to Bitcoin. Wax.
He's complaining. They're like, I told all my friends to buy Wax because it's going to outperform all the other altcoins. Now it's shitting the bed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and then here you can see Wax in terms of Bitcoin is dropping. So if you had held Bitcoin, like basically this would be like if you bought Bitcoin here and Wax here, the Wax is now worth less than the Bitcoin it would be worth. And you can see that trend has kind of been, let's zoom out to like the week here. See how that looks. So that trend is actually very much in line with the weekly trend. Where we flipped, we've been selling off and we had retested, it looks like that, and got rejected here. We've just made about, it looks like another lower low on this downswing. It's not the lowest low though that we've seen in the past. So I would expect you have room to probably retest the floor where it used to be before we see it bounce again.
I also think if we look at Wax in general, it's generally like a few days behind Bitcoin. Like Wax was actually kind of going up against Bitcoin when Bitcoin was dropping, and then it took a few days to kind of follow behind. Like you do see that spot where like Wax was pumping. That was a while ago, but like I don't know.
Yeah,
like I've seen multiple times where like Wax does not follow the same thing as Bitcoin, but then like it'll get hit twice as hard 2 days later. So like we might see Wax pump after the Bitcoin pump stops, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't always happen like on the same day. Like sometimes Wax is dragging behind the market by a few days, but it doesn't generally get outperformed this hard as far as like this is a pretty bad performance versus Bitcoin recently.
So this is also another chart to look at in that same vein. This is BTC.D. It stands for Bitcoin dominance. And so this represents the amount of all crypto market value and how much Bitcoin is of that value. So you can see this is again the weekly chart. So in the past few months here, Bitcoin has been gaining market share of all cryptos, meaning that it's outperforming, generally speaking, every other crypto. As this market goes up, Bitcoin is the best performing asset in the crypto space. And so we have been kind of trending up here. We got a nice big long green candle here too.
So Boulder, he thinks Bitcoin's performing better than all alts, and that's basically exactly what this chart is showing.
Yep, that's exactly what the chart's showing. So Bitcoin dominance has been increasing for several months, especially this last 3 weeks or so. Like, look at this huge jump in Bitcoin dominance.
I wonder if people are buying Bitcoin because of interest rates. Like,
I'm not sure. Bitcoin's definitely so Bitcoin's next halving happens next year in April as well, which is kind of why I'm like, that's around when the next bull market starts. Generally speaking, in the historical cycling phase of cryptocurrency, the halving event is usually near the start of the bull cycles. And the next Bitcoin halving is April 2024. Provided, estimated.
A little over under a year.
Year and a month from now. So like 13, maybe 14 months, depends on how fast the network is. If there's any
month was. I thought we were in April right now. That's how fucking disconnected from reality I am. I was like, it's less than a month. I was like, it is March right now.
So it's coming up. It's definitely still trucking along. You can see Bitcoin dominance is also on the overbought side. We might get like an altcoin pump as this giant candle gets a little like eaten back down to here a little bit. We'll see like some of the money that flowed into Bitcoin flow maybe into a few altcoins. But in a bear market in general, Bitcoin and Ethereum are like your best friend as far as like they will outperform almost everything.
I mean, the way I generally describe it is like the upside and downside is larger for altcoins. Altcoins are more volatile. So like you're probably not going to get 100x on Bitcoin. Like realistically, the amount of money that needs to go to Bitcoin to make it worth 100x what it's worth now is insane. But you can get 100x on Wax as far as like the amount of money it takes to move that market cap up 100x is a realistic amount of money. So like the altcoins just have more potential upside and downside. But if you're trying to like be more stable, like Ethereum and Bitcoin have so much more money in them, it's harder to move the money in either direction. So like they're like a safer bet, I would say, always, because it takes more money to move it in either direction, which doesn't mean it's free of risk, but it just does mean like you're less likely to get like negative 90x in like a day, which can definitely happen on like some crazy altcoin if you're messing around with like complete shit coins.
Yeah. So here's the 1 day or the 1 hour for Bitcoin dominance, and you can see in the last 24 hours or so, altcoins will have outperformed Bitcoin, generally speaking.
It's probably because Bitcoin pumped, and then people move all their money into altcoins because it's outperforming them. Like you can literally kind of just see that happen. People are just moving money back and forth to try to get the best one. It's also kind of why it's nice, like when you have a couple bags of crypto, because like we're saying right now, Wax is being underperformed, and then Boulder said, "Oh, well, that's great. Now I can buy Wax with my Bitcoin." So then when Wax starts coming back, then you can trade back and forth. So like it does kind of help having exposure to a couple of those things. So like if you have all of your value in Wax, then Wax drops, you can't buy into anything because it's doing bad. So like it is kind of nice to be able to have some winners and then have a little bit of exposure to multiple cryptos, especially if you're trying to actively trade them. But I do better holding my crypto than trading it anyway. Like I'm a long hodler. I'm a hodler.
Yeah.
I lose more money when I move my crypto around than when I just let it sit, like 9 out of 10 times. So I don't think it's bad, even though we're trying to teach everybody how to do all this stuff. Like it's not bad to just sit on crypto, and that's actually what I would recommend doing to most people,
Exactly.
unless you want to be like very, very, very actively participating. Because DeFi is not a passive investment. DeFi is an active investment.
Yeah,
I think a lot of
our
people
DeFi investment, we're doing stuff every week. Like
and also
every
you
week
can lose
on Tuesdays.
like a lot of value if you're not paying attention. Like we caught the Harmony hack within an hour of it happening, and I still lost $10,000. Like if I would have waited 3 more hours, I would have lost another $10,000. So like I had to be active to protect my money. And if you were just like, I'm going to check on this once every 3 months, you could have lost like almost all of your money. So like, yeah, it's definitely DeFi is not passive, and it takes a lot of like strategizing and checking up, and like you need to actually monitor your positions. And I do think that's like a lot of people just think it's somewhere you can park your money and forget about it. And that to me is not the case. And I think it's like that's a dangerous mindset. You should view DeFi as something that you need to actively be checking on. It's not just a bank account.
Yeah, DeFi is like trade finance. Like unless you're buying shares of stock and just sitting on it forever, like if you're trying to do like something more active, like writing option contracts or something, you're having to stay on top of that as well. So if you're doing that same strategy on DeFi, you should expect to put the same amount of work into it. And it is work, like there is like passive investments aren't going to be as lucrative as active ones ever. I mean, that's just the nature of how it works. Like if you could make more money doing nothing than you can doing something, then people would be incentivized to do nothing. So yeah. But yeah, let's move on to the Wax.
Boulder said exactly what you were explaining about cycling back and forth. I might lose more by moving it, but it's not fun to hold. Trading is much more fun. And something I think that like my not financial advice is like, if you want to mess around with trading, just get a separate wallet and bag for that. Like the dangerous part is when you start trading with your holding money and then you get emotional and you're like, oh, I can make so much more if I just throw all of this at once. And for me personally, it's like I have to compartmentalize that stuff. I can't just like have one wallet and be like, okay, I'm not going to put this ether into this DeFi position. So the second that DeFi position starts printing money, I'm going to move more money into it because my brain's like, oh, pleasure receptors, I'm making money. So like for me, I really have to be like, this is my gambling bag. This is my trading bag. And like, just use that. And if you win with that, just reinvest that. But like, for me, I very much have to keep separate my like holdings and my trading stuff, because it is easy to get the gambler's fallacy to be like, oh, like just because I guessed wrong 3 times in a row, I'm going to be right the 4th time because that's how percentages work or whatever. But like, yeah, like I think it's important to like have clear plans of what you're willing to gamble and what you're not. And then if you lose what you're willing to gamble, you have to be able to cut yourself off, because there is a bit of like, if you have an addictive personality, like all of this stuff has a bit of fucking like triggers for you. And I definitely have a bit of an addictive personality. So my way around it is just being like, I can't fucking touch this wallet. Like this wallet is not allowed to do anything but just sit there. And then like, those are also the wallets that maybe all of the most money in crypto, which is why I do that. Like my wallets that I'm fucking around with are the ones where I'm losing $10,000 in a couple hours. And that's not trying to do with my main holding. So
I've found that hack, I think 7 minutes into it being published. and I still lost $33,000 on that fucking Harmony exploit. It fucked me up.
And that's also at no fault of our own. Like, we participated correctly, we predicted the market correctly, we were making money because we did everything right, and their team lost the keys to their fucking bridge. So it's like,
fucking assholes.
no fault of your own, you can lose a bunch of money in this space. And that's also why, like, there's risk in all of this stuff. Like, any bridged asset, and not even the bridged asset, guess what? Like, you can have USDC on Ethereum, not bridged, and if USDC loses peg like it did the other week, you're still losing money. So, like, there's like not one, but like 10 different ways you can lose all your money to no fault of your own. So, like, there's definitely risk involved in this stuff.
Yeah, the difference between, so it's a similar, it is honestly similar risk as in the banking system. It's just that there is no FDIC level of insurance in crypto. So, you know, when Silicon Valley Bank fails, there is nobody to step in and make up those debts. Like that, what happened in, you know, the FDIC stepping in and paying back all the debtors. That just doesn't happen in crypto. When those fucking protocols fuck up and they lose $200 billion, money's gone.
Honestly, kind of how it should be. Like, too big to fail is kind of bullshit. Like, if people want to have horrible business practices, they should have to fucking pay the price. Like, take responsibility for your actions, and that does not happen a lot.
Yeah,
like,
it's wild. I also saw quite a bit of like news coverage about like exposure to crypto or like woke policies or whatever, like being at the heart of like these bank failures. And at the heart of the bank failure is bad banking practice, full stop. Like the fact that they bought long-term bonds with liquid capital, like why you locked your money up for 10 years, you're a fucking bank. Like why would you need liquid money for the next 10 years, right? Like what fucking kind of banking is that?
Literally your
And then
only job is
bail us out. It's insane. So like if anyone tells you the reason for these bank failures has to do with anything other than the banks themselves doing shit job at banking, like they're wrong. It's literally, there isn't any kind of like, oh, this is, how could this have happened? Like it happened because you rolled the dice and lost. And the reality is you rolled the dice for like an extra 1.5%, which is fucking like, God, you should be in jail. Like that wasn't your money. But I don't know. It's kind of business as usual at the bank. So let's go from this over to Wax and take a look at what we want to do with our DeFi position.
Wax DeFi. Just trying to get to quite the tech talk.
Yeah, we went kind of over a lot this week. We also did a short version market analysis last week.
I think we'll probably do some. Maybe we'll go over Funko stuff on Thursday because I feel like by the time we finish this, we've already been going for 2 hours.
Yeah, let's go to. Oh no, not trading view. I want Taco. Taco.
There was a Funko. Was it the? It's the second iteration of a drop that already done. Well, let me check what it is.
Has a new redeem happened?
Let me check the drop Discord. There's a new redeem like every other week, pretty much. The last one I believe was.
I got to be on it.
Hanna-Barbera Series 2, which is what just happened.
Oh, is there Johnny Bravo?
The last day to redeem. No, that wasn't. Redemption starts today for Matrix was the last one, and that was 2 weeks ago. So there's got to be another one coming up soon. Let's just do your thing first before we sidetracked by Funko.
Yeah, let's just take a look at our DeFi position for the week. We don't have. I don't think we have to do too much with it this week, but let's take a look at what we got. So we had started with 100 Wax, and we've been participating in DeFi positions across the Wax blockchain. And so far, those positions are. Looks like we got some Wax and USDT here, 51 now. So you'll remember last week, if you're remembering, it was 48. So because Wax has been falling, this has been our hedge, and it's been buying more Wax with our USDT actually, and that's great. I want to keep this sitting. I don't know that Wax is going to pump or dump. I'm kind of like on the fence. So instead of putting a full 100 Wax into this, since we started with 100 would be a full hedge basically. I will say keeping it at 50% hedge is fine. The other position on DeFi Box we have is still Wax Box token. And the reason for that was because of an existing arbitrage opportunity between the two blockchains that Box token trades on. So let's take a look if that is still in play today. So I'm going to go to the market tab and take a look at the price of Box token on the Wax blockchain. It's about $1.50, 149. and it's 22.93 wax. At the same time, if I toggle over to the EOS side of the DeFi Box platform, one box token is trading for $1.62. So we're still seeing about a 12-cent difference here, which is about 9% or so, which now has fallen below the 10% threshold of arbitrage that I would like to see to incentivize people to actually, participate in this. So I'm not 100% convinced I want to stay in this pool now, because I'm not like the biggest fan of Box token to begin with, and the reason we were farming the pool was because of an existing arbitrage opportunity. That opportunity was like 30 to 40%, like it was huge. And since it's closed now, I do want to stay the course and follow my kind of plan. And the plan was to exit the position when the arbitrage is dried up. And I would consider anything under a 10% opportunity as relatively dried up, because the way to move Box tokens from the Wax blockchain to the EOS blockchain to participate in this arbitrage opportunity is permissioned behind a centralized exchange. There is no DeFi bridge, and therefore I don't necessarily expect people to, assume those risks involved with moving arbitrage through a centralized authority for a 9% payday. So I'm going to say let's remove our liquidity from Box this week and find something a little bit more wax centric to do with this capital. We did start, I think, let's take a look at how we've done actually before we pull the liquidity. I'm pretty sure we started with less wax than we have now. And yes, so we started with 31 wax and this amount of Box, and now we have 37 wax. So we're up around 6 wax on the wax side, and then if you're going to go bilateral because both sides are up that value in wax, we're up about 12 wax for having participated in this pool. Now, having made 12 wax on what amounts to a total of 74, that's fantastic. Like, that's a huge percent. So we did well with this position, and I feel good about exiting here. So let's do that with this wallet.
I said he moved mine to Wombat and then kept spending all my Wombat and more characters. I'm not good at LPs.
That's the risk. Hey, you saw at the beginning, you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, but I gambled away my LP winnings at the start of the stream. I threw them into a dice.
Started the stream losing all of his money on EarnBet.
So I'm there too. But hey, the loss was only harvested rewards, so it's okay. I can live with it. But let's do that. For now, let's remove this liquidity. I do also like the Wombat Wax pool. Let's see if we move more into that. But to remove liquidity, I'm going to come to the swap tab, click on liquidity, and then say add liquidity. I know it's a little confusing, and then toggle to remove liquidity up here. Now I can set this to 100% and confirm the transaction. So we'll do that. And now that the liquidity has been removed, I also want to not forget, I have been earning Box rewards for being in that pool. So if I come to the market tab, you can see there is an incentive here, this APY. I guess you can't see it here, but you can see it if you're on this liquidity supplying page. If you click the details button, it shows you fees are only accounting for 0.1, and then liquidity mining. So any one of them, if you click on more info that has this liquidity mining section in the details, that one is paying you to supply the liquidity, similar to what Taco Swap's meal pools are. So to claim those rewards, I'm going to come up here to the 3 bars and then click on the mining. And then I can see I've earned an amount of Box tokens. So I'm going to claim those too. So we'll claim all of that. Now that that's claimed, I'm going to go back to swap, and I'm going to dump the Box side of this liquidity that we've just removed. It should be back in our wallet, so I should be seeing those numbers populate here in a second. I'm just going to toggle back over to the My page so that it can update. You can see there they are. And then I'm going to, there it is. Now it's updated. Again, DeFi Box has a little bit of a glitchy interface sometimes and requires that kind of nonsense like toggling between pages or whatnot to finagle it to play nicely with me. But now that I've sold my Box, I can come back to the My page and we can see I now have 74 wax, and then I still have 51 wax left in this liquidity pool. I'm going to leave the 51 wax alone. I don't think we need to top that up. So let's take our 74 wax from DeFi Box, and we can bring this over to Taco Swap and take a look at what our DeFi positions are doing here. So I'm going to click on the liquidity tab here. We can see we have some honey wax. We have some wombat wax.
It's pretty fucking slick, dude.
What is that?
They've got like moving. That credit metaverse ad looks great.
Oh yeah, this looks nice.
Like for
I like their concept. I just don't have enough like need for liquidity to use it.
Like I also think Max is literally building like a renting thing, like in their VRL marketplace. Will probably stomp out credit metaverse if I'm being real honest.
Yeah, I do really like this as a concept, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure that there is like a reason to rent at the moment that makes sense. Like a risk.
You should go back to the DeFi stuff. I was just, that ad looks really good. Yeah. Like I'm not used to seeing animated advertisements, and like that's a high quality advertisement.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. All right, let's take a look. We have our pools here. So these pools are part of the meal. So if I click on staked, we can see they are earning an amount of APR paid in these different denominations of tokens. Currently, let's see, honey is 133, 120 for wombat, and then we got almost 200 on NFTV wax. We also are earning rewards here, so let's claim those first things first. So I'm going to claim all of our rewards here. And then personally, I still also really like the Wombat token. Like I love what they're doing. I love cross-chain. I love the cross-chain liquidity depth. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in liquidity pools on Matic and on Uniswap on Ethereum mainnet. That's just something we're not going to find in the other tokens that we're farming currently, which are Honey and NFTV. And so let's just take a look really quick on the meal tab. I don't think that there's any other positions that are like really calling out to me like the Wombat one had been. So I'm gonna let this load for a second and take a look. Maybe there's some that I haven't seen in a while, but yeah, these are the same ones I've seen at the top. Wing, I'm not familiar with this. At least not enough to jump into a pool. It's also a very small pool. You can see there's only 750-ish wax on one side of it, meaning this is like 1,400 wax bilateral depth. It's not very much. So even though the rewards are high, this means if I added 1,000 wax to this, it would cut the reward in half because it would double the depth of the pool. So let's see what else we got here. Is there anything else that I'm familiar with the token? I'm willing to be exposed to it and accept the APR as a rate. And we're already down around 200 flat, and there's nothing I'm seeing that's like catching my attention as much as Honey or Wombat does. And so NFTV is kind of like the next highest one on our list. Still got 30 days left of the NFTV tokens and 2 days left of the taco rewards there. So I'd say we leave what we have in this one for now. I'm not sure if we want to compound into it. I haven't heard the latest updates from them, so I'm not necessarily savvy to if there's a reason to ape in right now or not. But because I'm not trying to do research live on air, let's stick with what we know for now. Let's see, Honey Wax. We still have 44 days left here, 133%. I'm not 100% sure what the Honey token price is right now, but I'm a fan of the Honey token around 1.4 to, I'd say maybe 2 wax at this point is not even bad since the revamp of the token supply. And then we got Wombat tokens, 48 days left to go. They also have a taco reward going on right now too, it looks like. Nice. And then 120% here. So what I think I want to do is let's just see how much wax we have total and then split 50-50. Adding some into Honey and some into Wombat, assuming that these tokens aren't on a crazy tear right now. So I'm going to go over to the swap pool and take a look at what the price action is on these tokens. So we're going to start by looking at the Honey token here. I'm just going to toggle into Wombat, and then I'm going to toggle on here. Wombat first. So Wombat wax, and then I'm going to say, show me the, not advanced settings up here, show me the chart. And then we can say, show me the 7-day chart. And then I want to see it denominated in terms of wax. So you see how right here it says Wombat tokens. I want to see how is it doing in price in terms of wax. And it looks like over the last week, pretty much flat. And being flat is great because we're getting paid for supplying liquidity. If the price doesn't change, then hey, great, we're making 120% APR. So I don't mind flat at all. I actually kind of like that. Let's check on a 30-day timeline really quick. And on the 30-day timeline, the prices actually climbed in terms of wax. Great. I like my stated goal for this wallet is to climb in terms of wax. So if I supply liquidity and the trend continues in this direction, then my Wombat side will deplete, but my wax side will increase, and that's what I want anyway. So Wombat definitely is holding up for our 50% allocation. And let's take a look at Honey.
I'm also just going to say this.
Here it is.
This is more of a note to you than to the audience, but because the audience is reminding me of this, TD wanted to schedule a call with us this last weekend, and we didn't do it. But NFT Gamer TV is pretty close to launching their token, and he's not really a tokenomics expert, so he wanted us. I don't even know what he wants us to do, but he just said he wanted to like run some stuff by us and like have a sanity.
Just bounce ideas. Yeah, that sounds fun. I love that.
Yeah, he'd like to do a call with you and I for that. And then also Dimitri from Bounty Block wants to do a call for us to set up the like he said he's willing to build a system where we can airdrop NFTs to specific mint numbers. So say like if we wanted to drop to people that there's 100 templates and we wanted to drop mint 1 to the person who's holding mint number 1 and mint 100 to the person holding mint 100, they can build that for us since nobody's done it. But
that's awesome.
He wanted to do a meeting with us, but I don't know. I'm just saying it now because I feel like if I don't say it now, I'll forget to tell you. So, sorry to the audience for the sidetrack, but we got some people want to pick our brains about stuff. It's kind of cool being able to like talk to a bunch of project leaders and like them caring about your input for developing their projects, though. So, it feels pretty gratifying as someone who has been grinding on wax for a couple of years, and we feel like we kind of know what we're talking about. That like other people recognize that, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's dope. Also, even if they don't end up taking any of the like input, it's still nice to like talk about it and talk to people who.
He was saying he was maybe willing to do a work trade. He's like, I think he's working with Jaspaz, but like basically like if we would help with tokenomics, we could get free development for like smart contracts for our collection. He's like, yeah, if you guys can help me with the tokenomics, I could potentially work trade because somebody owes me smart contract development, and I've been complaining to him a bunch about how like our redeem shit doesn't work, and like we have a bunch of stuff that we could do, like as far as like we've come up with ideas, but we just don't have the technical ability.
Also, if we can get those products developed, that benefits everybody else too who wants to use shit like that, like who wants to drop like redeemables and stuff and make that. That's awesome. But yeah, dope. I'll keep that in mind. I'll have to ping them.
Yeah, he's making trust with Jas. And because Jaspaz was working for him, Jaspaz now owes TD development work because TD was doing a front end development for Jaspaz for free, I believe. So now Jaspaz like owes TD one. So TD is like, if you can help with tokenomics, I can maybe call in my favor for Jaspaz for you. So I was like, I don't really know how we can help him, but I was like, I'm definitely like, we don't even need the favor either. Like we're not doing it for
even just for fun.
I was like, we're happy to help. I was just like. And I've told him too, I was like, I'm in your channel. I just like, I can't follow every announcement in NFT Gamer TV. There's a lot of pings. So like if you want to just talk to Max and I, like get a briefing of what you want to tell us. And then just like, let's do it all at once. Because we're also busy looking at a bunch of other projects. So we don't have time to like dig through 300 messages in a Discord to figure out what's going on. I participate
in so many different token economies. I definitely have a decent idea of how a lot of different
models. He wanted me to do it, not you. He's like, will you hop on a call with me? I was like, while I kind of know what I'm talking about, like literally everything I know is from Max. So like if you want the sensei and not the student, you should ask Max, not me, because like everything I'm seeing is filtered through the lens of what you taught me, and you're definitely going to be able to see things I can't. But yeah, we'll figure that out.
I mean, it comes from that I'd like do this every day for years and years.
I'm also significantly less interested in the finance side of stuff than you are. Like to me, finance is a necessary evil. I don't want to be homeless, but I have zero interest in like decentralized finance outside of the fact that I need money to live. I'm not interested in making money is not an interest of mine, like at all. If money didn't exist, I'd spend zero time trying to money didn't exist. Nobody tried to make it, but I don't know how to explain it. Money has never been like the motivating factor for money is not my interest. My interest is not being homeless. So like I know enough to like not like lose all my money, but like I'm interested in the gaming side. Like I want to figure out the best strategy for games. I want to figure out like mint structures and like the cheapest way to collect sets and like arbitrage through collectibles and stuff. But like that's where like I'm willing to like put in hours and hours and hours.
You give me such good advice on that front. It's so funny because then you end up not following your own advice, and I end up doing really well because
My
I'm just like,
problem
oh,
is I'm an actual gamer. I'm not an investor. So like I'm not trying to make the most money. I'm trying to do the best in the game. It just happens to be that generally if you buy the best stuff in the game, that's what goes up in value because everybody wants to do the best in the game. So like if you're able to quickly determine like the best strategy for doing well in the game, then you can get ahead of that value. But my problem is I never sell it when the value goes up because I bought the shit to play the game in the first place, not to sell for more. So like my problem is I actually am involved in these and I'm not a flipper. If I was a flipper, I'd make a shit ton of money in wax because I can call the
yeah,
shit
right.
correctly all the time.
You call
I
it
just
so well, yeah.
never actually sell it because I like playing the games and like I'm in the space to be involved in this space, not just sell shit and then exit projects immediately,
Yeah.
which is like the only way
I
to
definitely
profit.
went harder on music modal than I would have just because like when you described music modal's trajectory, I was like, yep, that makes sense. Like I'll buy
I was also
several
wrong on
thousand.
that one though because they fucking delayed it again, but still I think it'll be all
Whatever,
right.
I'll buy more as it keeps falling. I'm aping all at once, you know. I learned my lessons a little bit. But here, let me finish rebalancing our position here. So what I'm seeing is I wanted this to be around 2x to get into here. It's a little bit above there, but it's not so high that I'm like, you know, scared away from participating in this one. So I am going to do this, but the way I'm going to split it is I have 74 wax here. I'm going to do like 30 of that into honey, and then the remainder, which will be like 30 like and change, into wombat. So to do that, I'm going to do 15 wax and purchase honey just from the swap here. And before I do it on the swap here, I'm actually going to do that on wax on edge. Wax on edge. So just a quick shout out here to Wapaka. He built this tool that I can now sign into my wallet. And by the way, the routing is now live, so you can do a swap, and it'll route through multiple dexes at once. So I don't know if you've seen this. This is like a newer update on this one, but like for example, I could do neon token, neon, and if I did like a ton of neon at once, you know how the slippage will start getting bad. So if I did like 1,000 neon, you can see it's splitting it 89% at DeFi box and then 10% at Alcor. And so I'm still taking a huge hit for this one, but you know, even if I did 100, now I'm taking only a 7% price impact, which is mitigated by the splitting of this. So that's kind of cool. If you are unfamiliar with that, it now is going to give me like here. Oh, even if I do 10 wax, 10 neon worth, it's still cheaper for it to split between both of these than to do all of it into one pool. So this is something cool. If you trade gaming tokens that have low liquidity, this might be a useful one. But even if you do like higher liquidity ones, like here's Wombat, you can see this is all going to Taco, 1,000 Taco, 10,000, 100,000. Now it's starting to split, and so you can see it'll tell you, like it'll basically do all that for you. Really cool. So I just switched over here so that I can do the same thing I was trying to do into honey, but from here. So then I know that I'm getting the best deal. Because while I'm pretty sure honey's liquidity is going to be on Taco Swap, I don't want to check every single fucking exchange. So I'm going to do honey, and I'm going to say 15 wax like I wanted to, so that it's half of 30, which is what I want to commit to this pool. 15 wax, and what do you know? It is actually splitting it. Oh, it's doing it interesting. Wax into stream and then stream into honey on Taco Swap is a better deal than 100% wax into honey. But only 1% here. You know what? Let's just see how that compares. So if I had done 15 wax into honey, I'm gonna get 6.7990. If I just had done that on DeFi on here, 6.7989. So you can see I am 6.99. I'm getting slightly more by using wax on edge. Way to go, Wapaka. Kick ass tool, man. Fucking thrilled about that. So I did that swap, and now I'll have my remainder in wax 59. So now I can do about 30 into Wombat token to do the second half of this. And we already saw the Wombat token is going to have a direct route be the best deal. But if we do, let's see, I have a few Wombat tokens. So let's just do like 28 or something. So we have a little bit more on the wax side. I'll do 27. Oh, and what do you know? The better deal happens to be on Alcor. I would have done this shit on Taco Swap. So thanks again, Wapaka. And what do you know? Platform free for using the tool is free because it's just a direct swap. Yay. So if you're unfamiliar with that tool, I like to show that one off. Wapaka is a homie building this stuff, and Wax is a homie for funding it. So all around, great. Now that I've sourced the counterpart to my liquidity that I wanted to add, I'm going to jump back over to Taco Swap. Just click on my liquidity page where it already has my pools, and I'm just going to add them directly here. So I'm going to click on the honey pool. I'm adding the 15, so you can see I have the counterpart here. Add liquidity. Sign this transaction, and signed. Boodaloop. And then we're going to do the Wombat as well. So let's see. I would do 789. That's 28. Add that. And then we do have a little bit of wax left over, and we have been earning. Oh, wait. Message overdrawn balance. Which balance? Oh, the wax balance. Okay, so I didn't account for the Wombat token that I had already claimed from rewards from yield farming. That's why it's so out of whack. So actually don't have any honey left or any wax left, but I do have. Let's see. This takes a second to update sometimes as well, by the way. So it just did. I have 327 honey or wax left, Wombat left. I want to split that also into the pool. I don't want to just let that sit in the wallet. So I'm just going to toggle right back over to Wax on Edge, swap the Wombat so that it's on the top, and then trade half of it. So
really quick, I want to do some more ads for us. This Thursday, we will be doing a pack break stream with the Novo Pangea team. So look out. I believe it's at 6 p.m. our time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'll have to confirm that. We tweeted it, so it should be on our Twitter. But we'll be doing a pack break stream, and that's basically like, I believe everybody pitches in to buy packs. We open the packs for you, and then you divvy up the loot between the people that bought
these
them.
hands, baby.
I'm not 100% sure how it works, to be honest. I've never watched a full pack break stream, but sounds fun, and I'm excited to participate in that. But we'll be doing that on Thursday. And then we've got our sticker drop on Friday, so we have a new Neon Spice sticker. I'll just put my screen up while Max is. How do we do this? We have a new streamer thing, so I got to figure out how to like put me over here, and then that ain't it. That ain't it either. There we go. So yeah, we've got new stickers. We have a shine variant. So what you're looking at right now is the shine variants, and you cannot purchase the shine variant directly. Purchasing one of the normal ones without the shine is a raffle ticket to win the shine. So if you buy 10 normal stickers, you get 10 entries to win one of the shines, and we'll do a marble race with all of the entries or whatever, some sort of RNG simulation for all of the buyers, and then like certain number will be selected and they'll all get additional shiny stickers. So it'll be RNG who gets the shiny stickers, and you won't not get your regular sticker. You'll get 2 stickers. So you could buy 1 sticker and get lucky and get 2, but you could also buy 10 stickers and get 10 and not get lucky. So no guarantees. It's RNG. And who knows, maybe we'll like eventually switch that. Maybe we'll be like only one person, like you can only win 1 shiny sticker. So one person doesn't just buy 50 stickers and get all of them or something. So like if that happens and like it becomes an issue, we'll figure it out. We're still learning how to do this, but
yeah,
our first time
this time you could. Right.
Let me do the let me put the form in, because you can also, we're selling them for $3 in fiat on Shopify, but you can also, if you have 2 Neon Blend tokens, you can try to redeem one of the Blend tokens as a VRL, but only 15 people can do that. So, which I don't know, we can maybe bump it up to 20 because we got extra stickers. I was putting it at 15 and now we have 30 responses. So maybe we'll bump it up to 20. We can do 20, but roughly 15 people. So, and as you see, 30 people signed up, so only 15 people can use Blend tokens. So the marble race will decide who is whitelisted to use Blend tokens. And we will do that before we do the sale. So everybody will know if they won one for Blend tokens before they have to buy one for fiat or make the decision to buy one for fiat. So 2:30 p.m. Marble race to decide who gets the Blend tokens, and then 3:30 p.m. the sale will open this Friday, and we'll be streaming for that entire thing. So check us out on Friday if you want more information about that. We'll talk about it. I will post the form in the chat if anybody would like to participate and try to win with the Blend token.
Yeah, that's super dope. I'm excited for these.
They look great. I think the shiny looks really cool. I got to figure out how to make myself a shiny. I might actually buy some of these. I didn't buy any of the last sticker, but I'm thinking I might. The other thing we need to talk about, you can't put like we order 100 every time, and they send us like 120 every time. So like we do need to figure out what's happening with those extra 20, because we don't want to be in a situation where like we're misleading our audience or something like Funko, where they're saying they're destroying the stuff. Figure out later, like we're selling them for $3 5 years from now.
They're like motherfuckers.
Which the current plan is everything that does not sell on Shopify, we will be selling at conventions. The whole reason we're holding some aside in the first place is so when you go to Comic-Con and those sort of conventions, we have inventory to sell. So our current plan is to sell the extras, full disclosure, but I feel like everybody should know that before buying them.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you guys are absolutely like, that's unacceptable, we only want 100, 120, we can destroy the other 20 if that's like really what you want to do. But also, like, your boys will be able to make better collectibles if we can have higher profit margins. And if we have higher profit margins, we can build pins and signs and stuff. So ideally, we can make that money because we're just going to reinvest it back in our company anyway. But it does make your shit less scarce. It makes it not a 1 out of 100. It makes it a 1 out of 120, which that's 20% more. So that's a significant more of the total supply. And if you think we're cheating you there, like, let us know, because like you're the ones that are affected by this, not us. So I do want to be very clear about that. Like, we have more than the number that we say we're selling, and that's been the case every time, and we're assuming it's going to continue to be that way. So, yeah. Burn shit. Okay. Maybe we'll take a vote. We can let people vote with the Neon Blend token on WaxDAO.
Yeah.
That. I'll see your screen right now, Max. I'm showing my screen.
Oh, okay.
I can turn you back if you want, but I figured we're pretty much wrapped up on the DeFi stuff.
Yeah, I guess flip me back one more time and I'll finish off what we're building here, because I just want to do the last swap. And then I think in the comments, who was mentioning, hold on, I'll check the comments. I'll give it the infinite window comment here. I guess I lost the comment.
I can't if you just open StreamYard in a different browser. Like, I do StreamYard.
Yeah. I gotta do that. I'll do that next time.
And then I do all of my web showing, and that way I can click over and see the chat without.
Yeah, but in the chat you're saying this is a useful tool. Absolutely, the tool is wax on edge. You can do the trades, and like you see how here I now swapped Wombat into Wax, and this time it's doing it on Taco Swap instead of on Alcor, because Taco Swap's a better deal for this direction. When I go the other direction, it automatically is going to use a different DEX. So see, now it's using this one because it gets me a better deal. And the coolest part about all this is I only have to sign into this site. I don't have to go and sign into Alcor. I don't have to sign into DeFi Box or Taco Swap. I just sign in here and it does it all for you. Just keep in mind this site does take a fee if it is splitting your transaction into multiple routes. And it'll show you down here. Right now it says it's free, but like if I start doing like a big amount, you'll see, oh, this one's still free because it's still straight, I guess. But this platform fee will go up if it's charging you anything more than it would cost you if you were just using the site, Taco Swap or Alcor directly. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah,
I think it's
the other side of that, I mean, yeah, I also think you saw one of the big useful things here was that I traded into Honey, and it chose a route that I would have never looked at on Taco Swap. It was like Honey and some token I don't even fucking know, but that got me a better deal. So
it's also like the whole point of DeFi is the best deal wins. The annoying part is you have to go manually check every fucking deal. So this is basically just taking the busy work away from how people are already participating in DeFi. So like, I wish this tool existed on every chain, because when I was on Harmony, I had to check I had to check Curve, I had to check DeFi Kingdom, I had to check Trank or Defira, I had to check Viper Swap. Like, I had to check like 9 friggin' protocols to make sure I wasn't losing money on a bad trade. So like, having something just built in that does that all for you. You can also, if you don't want to pay the platform fee because you're moving platforms, you can just go literally manually go do these trades through Taco Swap and Alcor yourself. So
Yeah.
you don't even need to pay the protocol when they do have the additional fee. So I think this thing is like perfect. If you don't want to go deal with doing it manually, there's a super small fee when they do cross-platform trades. But otherwise, it's just giving you the data that you'd have to go look up.
Yeah. There is definitely like this is a DEX router, like an aggregator. So this does exist on like most other chains. It's just fucking much more expensive. Like to do this on Ethereum, like I'll use Staked Out or maybe OpenOcean has a 1 inch is a good aggregator. So there's a bunch of dexes that'll do similar things, but like this is a really nice interface, and the like fees for this are really reasonable. Plus, Wapaka's a homie, so shout out for sure. This is dope. I use this whenever I remember, honestly. Like instead of trying to sign into all these tabs, I can literally just have Wax on Edge open and do all my trading here for swapping. And then the nice thing is that, you know, if you're doing obscure game tokens that maybe don't, like, I don't know which tokens are super obscure, but like I'm not too familiar with Guild. I remember I used it once for a drop.
Guild is for
But
tag, which is stuck at 6 p.m.'s project.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I used it once for a drop. It like spiked right before the drop. This one has most of its stuff on Alcor, but look at this. Once you get to a certain amount, it's better. It's a better deal to do Guild into Nefty and then Nefty into Wax instead of Guild directly into Wax. So like, fantastic, wonderful tool. Anyway, the last step here is going to be going back to the Taco Swap, taking that last bit of Wombat and Wax that we now have, and depositing that into the liquidity pool, and then just taking a look at how we've done with our 100 Wax so far. So let's do that. Transactions are signed. And now let's pull out a calculator, which I don't think you get to see, but I'll tell you what the results are. So we have 63 plus 63 for this pool. So 126 Wax in this pool, roughly, plus 22 plus 22, so plus 44. So now we're at 170 Wax total, and then 4 Wax bilaterally, so 8 more. So we're gonna add 8 to that. 178 Wax total now. So we were at 170 flat. Sorry, I think I said 174. And then we also have our this is on EOS chain. So on DeFi box, we also have, I got to toggle back and forth because it still saw my Wax. We also have 51 Wax in our, what did we call it again? Our hedge pool here. So 51 Wax there. And our total is now at 229 Wax that we have in this wallet. So we started with 100 and we've gone up to 229. And all we've done is once a week taken a look at existing opportunities to participate in DeFi strategies on the Wax blockchain and participated in those strategies, and then adjusted our exposure week over week. So yeah, thanks for joining us doing that. That's really fucking been a lot of fun for me, and I love seeing that this works. And I participate in a lot of what we talk about. So like I was farming box Wax tokens, I think with like 5,000 Wax from my own wallet, while we were doing it with 50 Wax from our wallet. And then I was doing like Wombat Wax. I think I'm still probably like one of the bigger liquidity providers in this Honey Wax pool. Pretty sure like top 3 or 4 maybe. Let's see. You can check the leaderboard. Oh, I got bumped from the top 3, but I'm in the 4th place. Yield farming is my my wallet where I yield farm. So it's nice not only that we can turn, you know, like 100 Wax into 200 Wax, but that you can use these same strategies to turn thousands of Wax into more thousands. So it's a lot of fun to kind of be able to showcase that from a very accessible position of 100 Wax, which at the time when we started this was worth around $10. So it is cool to me, at least, to consider that for $10 somebody can jump into participating in what like realistically amounts to some pretty sophisticated investment strategies, and like do it, you know, from their wallet, from their like phone, even using like a web wallet, just an email address and $10. And it's fun. So I'm glad that we're doing that, and it's going well. it's fun. Hopefully people are getting a little bit of value out of seeing this done step by step and in person every week, because I do enjoy doing it, and I'll totally keep doing it even if you don't like it. So thanks for watching.
All right, let's do
but yeah,
some.
that'll sum up my tech shit for today. Let me bring my camera down a little bit.
Let's look at some NFT stuff. I'm not going to do too much NFT stuff today since we started so late. It's like already 6:40 our time. What a day I've had. I woke up and I'm streamed and it's already like 7 p.m. But here's our sticker. And I wanted to show off the new Funko drop too, just because that's relevant. It's today sold out. No surprise here. And Max was asking about the physicals, so that's what I wanted to look at.
Yes.
The renewables. Okay, Huckleberry Hound looks fucking sick, dude.
Dude, what? Where's he from? What cartoon is he from? What? Yeah, what cartoon is he from? Huckleberry Hound.
Huckleberry Hound is his own thing, I think, right?
Oh, that guy. Okay, yeah. I know that guy.
I think he's like I don't know if he's
like a slick talking kind of guy.
He first appeared in the Huckleberry Hound show, and it won an Emmy in 1960.
Shit. Damn. 1960.
I just like any character that has a guitar, I'm like instantly in. And this dude's got a banjo, so I'm like, fuck, of all the Funkos that have been released in wax, now I want this one. And I'm pissed off he's the Grail because it'll be more expensive. Like, I don't actually care about the value of this stuff. But I'm to get.
He totally looks like the Jetsons dog. That's like what I was like. What does he look like? He totally.
It might have Jetsons might have been after that, though. They might have based the Jetsons dog on Hudson Hound.
I feel like the Jetsons.
Wait, was that not his name? Did I mess it up? Huckleberry Hound. How did I get Hudson there? Huckleberry.
Wait, what did you look? Yeah, I think he's like this like lazy but kind of smooth talking character. I feel like
looks like he's in Yogi Bear too.
Yes. Okay, that's definitely where I know him from then.
Oh, here he is.
Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine.
Okay. He's not very good at music.
He's pretty bad at singing. Not very good at that banjo.
Should we look at the corny crows? Let's see who this is.
Concern crows. Uh-oh. Them corny crows are coming in for the attack.
Damn, dude, this is high-grade animation.
This is how you win an Emmy in 1960.
My corn, huh? I'll fix them crow critters. Let's dive bomb that yummy corn again, friend. Roger, Dodger.
I feel like his accent is like an accent people don't actually have. It's like I've been noticing that more and more, that like the way Southern people are portrayed in media is not a real accent. Like people don't actually talk like that in the South, but they like, there's this weird thing for like the past 50 years in media that people talk like, it's like when you hear a British person try to do an American accent, it becomes this like weird Southern accent that is not a real accent.
There's a whole term for like, it's the transatlantic accent, which like came out of like the era of like noir films and like radio shows, where like actors just like, you know, it's like, yeah, like that weird, like, yeah, and then like it's like nobody fucking talks like that. It like came out of like acting in like the 50s and 40s.
Yeah, that was like the radio accent. I think it came from like radio shows.
Yeah, I looked at that once. It's called the transatlantic accent. Like an accent nobody has.
Corn on the cob, coming up. You mean can crow coming up?
It also sounds like the same person's voicing all of these characters. Like I can't even tell the difference between the crows and the guy talking.
That'll ground them cornball crows.
Damn, dude, this would not hold the attention of like modern.
Yeah, dude, I can't even. This is a 2-minute clip. I can't watch it. So
yeah, damn. Modern
Max was just talking about
like,
DeFi for like 2 hours, and somehow this is more boring than that. All right, let's go back to what else is redeemable. I do like the way he looks, though.
He still looks cool as shit with his banjo, but yeah, oof. Cartoons have come a long way. It's nice to take a look back and be like, holy crap. People's attention spans.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
Oh hell yeah, I know Birdman.
We got Mighty Miter. I don't know what he's from.
Okay, I'm less familiar with him too. Mighty Miter.
Moby Dick and the Mighty Miter is an American.
Nope, that didn't help at all.
Saturday morning in 1967 to 1968. What? What does that have to do with Moby Dick? Like the whale? So Moby Dick's a story about a whale, right? What does that have to do with a He-Man guy? Like, I'm very confused what that show is, but we're just keep moving on. I'm not going to spend the next hour trying. Okay,
Yeah,
this guy's
that
sick
one.
too, dude. Holy shit, this guy might even be cooler. I'm 100% in on this guy. If I can get this guy for like $30, I might. He's from Huckleberry Hound, but Mr. Jinx, he's got friggin' 2 mice in his hands. He's like a cat
Dude,
or a wolf or something.
He got like an evil smile on his face. He seems like the bad guy. Yeah.
So let's see. Mr. Jinx, Pixie and Dixie and Mr. Jinx is a Hanna-Barbera cartoon from 1958 to 1961, and it was a segment of the Huckleberry Hound show. Dude, this is what fucking Itchy and Scratchy is based on. I can almost guarantee it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Itchy and Scratchy was a cartoon where, like, a cat... All right, that's probably Tom and Jerry. I'm a fucking idiot. Did Tom and Jerry come before this? I thought I just had, like, a fucking moment where it's like, oh, my God, I figured out the Simpsons for doing something. Was like, that's definitely just Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, that's definitely Tom
I'm an idiot, guys. I got excited. But let's look it up. Did Pixie and Dixie come before Tom and Jerry? Because maybe Tom and Jerry is based on Pixie and Dixie.
Hold on, I gotta get this fucking thing off my screen.
Tom and Jerry's from 1940. This is a ripoff from Tom and Jerry. False alarm, everybody. But I also think I read that they said they used it for a... If I just would have read this, it literally says, the show's plot itself and its characters follow the same basic concept as Tom and Jerry.
It's like 5 words into the first sentence.
Yeah. I think they're saying that this is also a mascot for Cocoa Puffs or something, though, if I was reading that right.
Oh. Is he friends with those mice, or is he, like, chasing them? Because
in 1961, Mr. Jinx served as the UK mascot for Cocoa Pops. He's chasing them. It's like Tom and Jerry.
Oh, Willow has Pixie and Dixie Pops figures from NYC. NYC Comic Con 2020.
That's like the way this guy looks. Like,
you
I
definitely
collect Funko stuff exclusively based on how they look. Like I'm not even into this property, but if it looks
cool,
looks
like
great,
yeah.
Like, I'm not into Bob's Big Boy. That's like the burger.
His face really works for the Funko style too. I really like that.
I'm also a big fan of cats. I like cats and dogs, but like animal and food stuff, I'm more likely. I do that for Blankos too. If there's like a dog or a cat Blanko, I'm buying it. If there's a food Blanko, I'm buying it. Like, I'm way more into those specific categories of like fun. But
this is a cool take on the Tom and Jerry thing too, though, where there's like 2. There's Pixie and Dixie. Since Monosuete is saying that they have a funny rapport, I kind of want to watch some episodes of this. I'm gonna have to
I can look it up in a second. I just want to check the prices real quick. Here's me checking this collection because somebody is wash trading it.
Yeah.
And it's got a 0% market fee.
Let's go.
People are still washing trading it. 20K volume in the last 24 hours. Wash trading the fuck out of this.
Let it go. Let it wash trade, baby. People going for that honey, huh?
Yep, I believe so.
Hey, it works for me. I'm still in the Wax E distribution pool, baby. I get a cut of all that wash trading.
So it looks like $31 for the premium pack. So that's about drop price. Standard pack is $10. So yeah, you can get it for drop price right now. This drop is not doing well as far as like flippers are concerned. It's good for collectors. If I can buy it without a credit card for the same price I could buy the credit card with my Wax, that's pretty great. I want to see what these. It is kind of annoying. Okay, I guess this is series 2. I was going to say it's kind of annoying that people always do this, like these shenanigans where they list bundles of the shit in the first series with the second series. So you think you're buying a legendary from the second series, but you're buying one that's already been redeemed from the first series. It's annoying as shit. So look out for that if you're buying Funkos. People try to trick you when there's 2 series in one collection. They'll list them together, so like they're in the wrong filter.
Yeah, I've seen that. They'll list
Right
like
now,
they'll add like a rare to like a bundle.
yeah, they also do that with rarities. That's just fine. I like this. Oh, that was great. You moved the hole in the wall.
Yeah, Marcy, you better stop.
That's also pretty great. He moves so much faster than me, scares them off the couch, and then he gets there first, and then he like makes them run into the wall. This is a
Dude,
great
what?
NFT. I like this one.
This one's awesome. Fuck yeah.
$50 is a little more than I'll spend on this. Like if this comes down to like 30, I might be in. But 50 is a little more than I'm spending on pop right now.
I have to set a limit on this one.
Oh, I didn't mint highest. Let's do price lowest. Oh, and this is where we're getting all these shady ass bundles trying to trick you.
That's where they got you.
So Midor is the least popular one.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I didn't
Crazy
really.
innovation though. There's T-Rexes and stuff.
Dude, what the fuck? Yeah, this is wild. These have gotten so much more elaborate. It's kind of awesome.
That looks great. I can't wait to collect this set as digital NFTs. Like I might not get the physicals, but
Yeah,
I'll be buying these as digitals. These look sweet as shit.
same. I love the fucking digital collecting. I literally like have showed my Funko Pop NFTs to people at bars and shit that have like wanted to see what NFTs are about. It's like, oh, let me just pull up some Funkos on my
Also
token.
so like not ridiculous when you buy it on redemption day. Like you can get every NFT in a set minus the grill for under $10, which is just like
it shows like that in the token head app too. Like they'll see the Funkos and most of them are like 4 or 5 cents. So they're like, oh, this is cool. You know, it's like it feels a lot more approachable.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like you're investing when you're only like, I'll go spend $10. Back when I used to go out to bars, that's a single drink at a bar. So like I can go buy NFTs I can hold my wall forever and appreciate for the price of one drink at a bar. Like that's a realistic expense.
That's like a beer at a bar now. If you want a mixed drink,
people spend $60,000 on a Bored Ape is like, what the fuck is going on here? Like that is why people like don't take the NFT space seriously, is because people are spending so much on like random shit like that. But like I feel like, you know, you'll spend $10 on a pack of Pokemon cards back when you're playing Pokemon. You get your booster pack and you get shit in there. It's like this is the same thing, just digital. It makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't really investing in Pokemon cards either. I was just like playing it to like trade.
Yeah, me either. But like I don't know. So many people in the space like get so obsessed with chasing the money that they forget like the point of all this stuff is not money. The money has to do with scarcity and demand. But really, like you're just trying to make cool shit people want to collect or like play games with. Like, are one of these way more popular? I feel like we haven't seen one of them. Or there are only 3.
No, there was one more. The blue dog with the banjo.
That's all of them. There's not a lot of these on the market.
Where's the banjo guy?
I mean, people probably aren't ripping packs. If I had to guess, the packs aren't being open. That's why they're so cheap. Let's check. Is that a Series 2? The Series 2 pack is cheaper than the Series 1 pack. And yeah, only 4,000 of 18,000 have been burned. So flippers bought these and flippers are losing and they're undercutting each other.
Oh, so you might be able to see some below market price packs in the future if flippers start panicking.
That's why the NFTs are so expensive right now, though, because people are not opening the packs. So like it's way more expensive than it should be to buy the physicals on the aftermarket. So you got to wait for more people to rip the packs and then lower the market for the physicals. That's sort of how Funko works. And the packs are also priced on the physicals. So if the physicals are actually selling for $50, the pack price will go up because of the possibility to get a physical out of a pack. So like the Funko market's really just determined by it's that balance of opening packs and what physicals are selling for. And that's basically what determines the entire price of the Funko market, is what people are willing to pay to get the physicals. And if the packs become cheaper than buying the physicals, then people buy the packs instead.
Yeah.
Blending old collections that used to be expensive is my favorite game. Funko needs blends. I'll agree with you on that, especially because Funko's primarily their audience is interested in physical and not digital collectibles. You end up with just way too many digitals afterwards because they're basically like making people buy more shit than they want to get the physicals. It's basically just like, for being honest, it's just physicals with extra steps. Like I could pay $50 to get this physical, or I can sell you $100 worth of packs to maybe get that physical. So they're just making more money.
I don't know. To me, the comparison is more like I could wait in line at like a midnight release at my local toy store for this, or I could like do a drop and like collect the set bonus and get the redeemable for it. It's like what, both of them are going to cost you time and effort and money. So it's like Like, there's always extra steps for like getting rare collectible guys.
I do think though that NFTs are literally just like an extra thing. Like they're making you buy something you don't want to get the thing you do want. So they're just making extra money on that, like for their actual collectors. If we're being real about it, the people that all just dump all of their digital shit, they didn't want to have to deal with all that. If they could have just bought their Funko for $30 at Target, they would have. Like, you know. So
Yeah.
I do think they're adding extra steps to make more money, and that is kind of like, I don't know. But we also do the same fucking thing. Like that's how collectibles work, as far as like we're trying to copy their model and then get like VIRL pulls and stuff. So I don't know. That's also the like you could say the same thing for Pokemon. People are buying a shit ton of Pokemon packs to try to get the Charizard thing when they could just buy the Charizard thing directly. So Pokemon's cash grabbing their audience. That's just like a function of how RNG and like this stuff works. But that's also part of the fun. Is like it's not as fun if you know what you're getting. That's why people open packs, because the rush you get when you get the random thing, because it's not guaranteed, is what makes the pack opening fun. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. Like
drop day pack ripping and like trading and shit is super fun. So
it's just a bit of both. I think it's a bit cash grabby, but then also at the same time, like it's part of the fun of the collector experience. So like I'm kind of torn on that as far as like
I'm kind of annoyed that people speculate so much on those fucking coins, Eric, because I like the coins a lot. Like from an aesthetic standpoint, whenever I'm buying a royalty set, the coins are like a fucking dollar. And it's just like, why? These are like as common as like most commons, and the commons are like a cent or 2 cents.
People think you'll be able to spend them on something eventually.
People speculate hard on the coins. I always pick up 1 coin per collection, and they've also gotten like cooler and cooler.
Here's our Shopify. I guess we'll do one last plug. Our sticker sale will not be live until Friday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, but you can, if you'd like to check out the website before. We do have our old stickers available, and if you order one of the old stickers and one of the new ones, we will ship them together. So we'll bulk ship, and you can also enter. I think I already put the form out, but if you'd like to try to win one with a Neon Blend token, instead of paying with fiat, 15 to potentially 20, we'll decide on Friday, will be available. We just need your Wax wallet, your Discord username, and you don't actually need the Blend tokens first. If you win, then you need to send us 2 Blend tokens. So you can sign up for this even if you have no Blend tokens. And then if RNG is in your favor, then you can just go buy 2 Neon and then turn into Blend tokens and send it to us, which I believe is cheaper than $3. So like if you want a sticker, there's no reason to not try to do it this way, because you will literally spend less money than if you just buy it with fiat directly, unless you want to support us, which we appreciate. We don't really make money off of these VRL things. You're sending us NFTs that you've already paid for, or buying off people on the aftermarket, but like, you know, we get a very small percentage of that. We're not really profiting off of the aftermarket in the same way that we do direct sales. So it's much better for us if you buy it from us directly, but at the same time, we want to continue to give utility to the Neon Blend token. The Neon Blend token, the function is always to buy new artwork. So we want to keep creating new opportunities for people to use that token to get new artwork. So we will continue to do that, but we can only do a certain amount because we need to make enough money to buy the next batch of stickers. So we definitely appreciate anybody buying with fiat. We literally could not do this without you. You are funding the next batch, and that allows people with the Neon Blend token to, you know, for free. It's not free. We know you guys have to pay for Blend tokens and stuff, but like from us, we don't make money for it. So you're allowing other people in our community, you're allowing Neon Space to grow as a brand, and we really appreciate it. And I'm sure the community appreciates it. Everybody that's winning one in a race is like, that's thanks to the people that are willing to support us the fiat. So we super appreciate it. You know, I'm also having fun, like learning how to do all this stuff. I think we're doing a pretty good job at like getting into the physical game from people that have literally only run digital businesses. So it's taking us a while to learn how to do all this stuff, but
yeah, for real. Oh, that's a good one. I gotta stick 1 sticker on my PC too. I got a fucking monster PC, dude. When Bitcoin and everything was flying, I went all out and I like bought the top of the line everything. It cost more than my car. PC fucking rocks. It's got like 12 cores.
Out if we some sort of countdown. It would be nice if it showed our sale on Shopify and was counting down until the sale is live. I don't really know how we do that, but like maybe I'll look into that. Yeah. But like it is confusing. People, the first thing people ask is, when is the sale? Where's the sticker? When I send them the Shopify link. So it's like, I forgot to hide one in the shitter at the Black Flag concert. Are you doing the scratch and sniff? I feel like putting a scratch and sniff sticker in a bathroom is just like an evil move.
No one's gonna ever fucking sniff a bathroom sticker, dude. What? Like people are holding their breath in there. I don't know. You know,
Also, how's the?
Oh, go on.
I didn't ask you, but how was the Black Flag concert? I'm the KY.
Oh,
Dirty Sanchez, the sticker. Yeah, and we also, I know we've been a little slower on the digital front, but we do have a few ideas as far as Max has an idea for YouTube 30 minutes or less or whatever fame thing, one of Paul's artwork. So we'll probably be doing a digital blend coming up here soon. I think I'm just going to go ahead and say, like, well, we haven't talked about this internally. I'm not going to go ahead and say this. I will soft pitch this to Max and the audience at the same time. I don't make the decisions for us, but I think Blockchain Boulevard has to end next month. It's the 1 year anniversary of that sale. We need to do the set bonuses. We need to do the Supernova sale. So I think it's safe to say 1 month, I'll find the actual date from when we put up Blockchain Boulevard. That sale is going down. So if you want to do your Blockchain Boulevard set bonuses, it's about a 1 month warning because we started at the end of April, I believe, of last year. So I don't think we should have that sale open for over a year. Like anybody that wanted to get it has had plenty of time to get it. And we don't want to leave things open forever. Like scarcity is important to us. So we're not just going to leave open packs on shelves or do warehouse sales and sell them for cheaper. Like we'll burn all the shit if it doesn't sell. But
I might buy some packs though for my own wallet. So I still want. Like I gave some to somebody in like a DeFi thing the other day, like in a DeFi chat. Like they had never experienced like a pack rip, so I sent them a Blockchain Boulevard pack, and then they got like the liquidity pool party one, and we were talking and like we met in like a yield farming chat.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, they were like, "Oh, this is dope." I was like, "Yeah, check it." They're also the only reason I sent them one too is like we were talking NFTs, and they're like, "Oh, I have an AMC NFT," and I was like, "Oh, so
nice.
you have a Wax wallet?" That was great. But yeah. Oh, and then here before I go, Paul got me this this Funko. Check this one out.
Oh, is that from DBZ?
Yeah, it's Majin Buu. He totally works as a Funko too.
Yeah, he looks great as a Funko. Certain characters, he kind of looks like a baby, like a baby face when he's not a Funko, though, right?
Yeah, but that's like his character totally is like a baby face guy. Let's see who else is in the set. It looks like Trunks, Gohan, Krillin, and Majin Buu. Majin Buu is definitely the coolest of those four.
And look at all our scooters in the background. We each have an electric scooter in our apartment that we never use. I think it's been a full year since any of us have ridden any of those scooters.
It's been too fucking cold, and then my back was fucked up last time. I could have
also the roads suck where we live. Like in Burbank, there's a bunch of nice roads and like
that bike path.
Bike lanes, like the bike lanes all end after 2 blocks. Then the sidewalks are all fucked where we live. So it's like it kind of sucks to ride the scooters in Van Nuys, if I'm being honest. Like Burbank rocked for the scooters. We had bike lanes going everywhere downtown Burbank.
That's true. Burbank definitely was nicer. Although I've been finding some decent paths to get places that I want to go, like to eat and stuff.
Best
like
path
you
with us is that like is the bike path, but it says no motorized vehicles on it, so I feel like guilty every time I go on it, and like I don't like riding on the path. That's by far the best path for us for scootering near us.
Oh yeah, I ride that path. But everybody, like, there's people on e-bikes and fucking.
Yeah, I've seen people riding like motorized shit with like gasoline on their like gas powered bikes and stuff. So like,
yeah,
we definitely wouldn't be the only ones.
I always ride my thing there. I'm also like, I don't know, if I feel like people don't care as long as you're like respectful about it. It's not like I'm whipping past like pedestrians at like 30 miles an hour or some shit.
True. It's also pretty easy to avoid people on that path as far as like there's plenty of room to go
there
around.
Is someone walking, I'll slow down and I'll like give them tons of room and shit. Like I'm not trying to.
Now it's getting nice out again. I'd be down to do some scooter runs. I actually enjoy scootering for fun, not just for like.
Yeah, same.
What do you get? You got
what I used to do is I'd strap my fucking phone to my scooter and then I'd play Pokemon Go. That was super fun. Just hit up some gyms, go do a raid.
Mint 1 of a redeemable, I bet you could sell for a decent amount. Mint 1 of a legendary.
Yeah, I bet. Dude, nice. Which one is it? Marcy, don't be barking. Hey.
Anyway, I'm the KY didn't make scratch and sniff. I'm the KY made blacklight stickers, but we also sent him a guide on how to make homemade scratch and sniff stickers. It's possible. Scratch and sniff exists. You just have to like, you basically have to just like put a powder that smells on the sticker and then fill it in with this like goo that like makes it stick there. But
Wild.
oh, it's a 1 of 3,000.
Not mint one. Oh, it's one of the redeemables though. Which one is it? Is it the dog with the banjo?
Pulling a redeemable is nothing to scoff at, but I thought you got a mint one, which would have been way cool. Let's see, -1 day until this timer. That means whatever I was looking at. I always have timers open for setting troops in our planet. That was at some point we attacked headhunters at 1 day, 1 hour, 2 minutes ago. If you looked at their screens, they were getting attacks.
That's hilarious.
Headhunters are also we're getting pretty good against them. If anybody from Headhunters is watching, sorry about today. Hopefully Vita didn't like having 8 bases or 9 bases because he has 8 bases now. Hope you didn't need that last base because it is gone.
Yeah, it was just a vanity base anyway.
We're also avenging you, Max. I don't know if you noticed, but you got removed from the game.
Yeah, I did. Fucking dicks. It's fine. I feel like, I don't know. It was inevitable. I was slow bleeding. I didn't want to like bother people for help because I wasn't like gonna.
You got to play pretty actively to make the top 100.
Yeah, I was
like,
not
literally the top 100 people in the world that play the game. And
I want to play on a server where there's like the PvE aspect to it. Like I feel like I could do that much more like realistically.
See how much I play, and I'm ranked 67. So like I play like hours every single day. There's 60-something people that play more than me. So like I am playing like it's a part-time job, and I'm still not even in the top 50. So like you have to play this game very actively to have any shot at the end of the game. But I don't know. It definitely kind of sucks, like that people can't play. Like there is no way to just casually play our planet, and if you do, you're basically just waiting until you die at the end of the server, which is not a very fun. I'd be down to do a scooter stream, IRL stream.
Right? I was just
we could actually both on our phones call into StreamYard from a scooter. Like
that's a good one. That'd be funny. Just scooting around town, scooting past unhoused people.
Our planet's definitely fun, but super time consuming. It's also why I don't like super promote it all the time, is because I kind of feel bad getting people into it and then being like, we had a few people that joined and then weren't playing actively enough, and they got like either kicked out of the guild or killed out of the guild, and then we're upset. And I'm just like, I'm not trying to like make people have shitty experience.
There's not a casual way to play. Yeah, there really is not a casual way to play our planet. It's like either you're in or you're dead. When you play the Game of Thrones,
it's very fun, kind of. I don't even know if it's fun as much as it's satisfying.
That's intense. Like, dude, our planet is that game. Like, it's so fucking intense. But like, you got to be in it, like 24/7, basically.
It's also not that like. There's definitely serious issues to the point where like I'm not going to play next season unless they fix stuff. Like that's what I was like. It's really fun, but it's like it's also really not fun at the same time. It's just like I've invested so much time at this point. I can't let my enemies win. Like I'm not even having fun playing. I just don't want to lose, and I'm willing to like keep doing this until I don't lose. But I wouldn't even consider what I'm doing right now fun. Like it's our planet is insane. Like the amount I'm playing right now, and like having to schedule between multiple alliances, and like we do attacks every day. Like we fucking have to schedule attacks daily and then like organize between multiple alliances. But I'm spending multiple hours every night making spreadsheets on who we're attacking and then who we're attacking for fake. Because if you just attack the real people, they'll kill all your armies. So you have to send fake attacks. So then I have to like, we spy their bases, figure out who's defending who, attack the people that are defending one person so they pull their defense away. Like the amount of organization going on at the higher ups is fucking crazy. Like it's literally like I'm a general commanding an entire army, and it's like up to me to do this every day or we lose all of our troops. So it's like a bunch of people are relying on Seeker and I being able to like determine where to send the troops or they lose their army. So like it's also like kind of stressful as far as like if I don't figure this out, people lose days worth of work by losing their army. So like trying to do the best to make sure my alliance stays strong and doesn't lose their armies. But there's other times where no matter what you do, you're going to lose armies. So like you just kind of have to be okay with it's like, yeah, there will be sacrifices. This is a war. You can't win every battle.
This is war, damn it. Yeah,
but it is fucking crazy. Also, like the psychological games people are playing against each other are wild. Like beyond any video game I've ever played, I've never seen psychological warfare at this level. Like it is wild.
Yeah.
But that's like one of the fun parts for me too, though, is like fucking with people because I do the same thing. Like, I don't know, I shouldn't say my strategies, but I do stuff that like makes it look like my attacks are real. Like, I guess you can't even stop it because my real attacks look like my fake attacks, but when you send a real attack, your first wave has like 60k units, and then your second wave needs to have like under 5k units or whatever. Like you send all of your units on the first wave and then smaller. So it takes time to get rid of the 60,000 units and bring it down to whatever you actually want to do. So generally, between your first wave and your second wave, there's 3 to 5 seconds of you needing to change those numbers. So if you're sending fake waves at an enemy, I wait 5 seconds, and then I send more fake waves, and then I pick different buildings on my screen because you need to pick the Weakenite mine, then the Waxnite mine, and like one at a time. And each one of those takes 2 seconds. So I'll move my thumb as if I'm doing that and then click send. So the timing is perfect to a real send. And all of the spaces in between my sends are fake. So like they really can't tell what's fake and what isn't because I'm mocking the real sends. And I'm doing stuff like that for all of my fakes. Like I know the strategies to like wipe people's bases. So I'm making it look like that's happening every time. So it's very, very hard for them to determine. But that's like, they're doing that to us too. Like mental games back and forth with the sends. So you don't know what is real and what is not. But like the amount of effort we're putting into making sure they don't know what is real is fucking crazy. Like hours a day we're putting into these fake sends and like pretending like they're real sends. And like from 20 of their bases, I'll send from all of my bases at the same time, but they don't all line up at the same time. So I have to just sit there and wait for the timer to click to the right time for 2 hours on each base. Like I'm just waiting for the time to hit the right time for me to send. And then that time keeps moving as it gets closer and closer to us. So like, yeah, I don't know. The amount of shit I'm doing right now, it's like, I also don't enjoy doing that. I don't enjoy having to trick these people. Like
That sounds like a fucking job, dude. Like,
yeah,
I'm like exhausted listening, like hearing about it.
It's ruining my sleep cycle. It's ruining my ability to work on Neon Space stuff. Like
ruining my life.
Honestly, kind of is. I woke up at 3 p.m. today. Like that's because I was defending bases. Dark was getting attacked at 7 a.m. So I had to stay up to land my attack after. Like if I went to sleep, my units would have gotten there too early or whatever. Like you have to time things so perfectly that like I also can't sleep for more than like 5 hours at a time because they attack me while I'm sleeping. So I set alarms like 4 hours into my sleep. Wake up, defend, move stuff, go back to sleep. Wake up in 2 hours and like I haven't slept for more than 4 hours in like fucking months. Like
you're like Desmond in the vault on Lost.
Dude, it's crazy, but also like the results are showing. Like we're winning right now, and we're gonna win the server because of the work I'm putting in. So like, yeah, it's been a wild experience, but I can't do this again. Like, and it's like my addictive personality. I can't quit. Like I can't. I've invested so much into this that like I can't give up now. And I know I'll say the exact same thing on the last server. Because the last server, I was like, I can't do this again. I played too much, so I'll just play casually on the second server. And that's what I was trying to do, but we would have lost if I was playing casually. So like the competitiveness in me made me have to step up my ability so we didn't lose. And like that'll happen on the next server too. So like I just can't play if I like either have to choose not to play or play, but until they fix it to make it more casual, like I can't keep playing like this. It consumes my entire life and like it'll just happen again on the next server. So as of now, I'm saying until they fix the spam and the fakes and all the issues that make it so like it's super time consuming and not fun, I can't play Our Planet because it just like I'm trying to play big time and I can't because like I'm having to send defense back and forth for 2 hours, and I'd rather be playing big time with my friends because I actually have fun doing that. I don't have fun. So that's the other thing. I talk about all this timing and stuff. 95% of their attacks against me are fake. So I'm getting 4 hours of sleep, waking up in the middle of the night, sending defense for fake attacks. Like they're not real. So it's like it wastes half my day and none of it was for anything. It was all fake. And we're doing the same shit to them. So we're wasting a ton of their time. But it's like, is this game really fun if all we're doing is wasting hours of each other's days every day? Like that isn't what I want to do with my game. So like, yeah, it's a really strange situation right now where like everybody's just spamming the fuck out of each other. It takes hours a day to plan all that stuff. And then it just wastes hours of the other person's day. So like we're in this like feedback loop of all of us just being dicks to each other and trying to like do psychological warfare. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's fun, but it's also like, it's just too much. Like no one should have to do what I'm doing right now. It's not a way anybody should ever play a video game. And I'm also not the only person doing it. As I said, there's like 60 people ahead of me doing the same thing. So like there's a crazy active, like small community for Our Planet.
Yeah.
And there's a 0% chance you're going to beat those people if you're playing casually. Like unless you're doing what I'm doing, you're not going to beat me.
I had a decent sized base. I also have kick-ass like NFTs. Like I have like level 100 epic lands and shit. So Oh, now
Yeah,
that
if
I'm dead,
anybody's wondering why I've been less
yeah,
active on chats, I have not been. I am so active in the R Planet chats that I don't have time to even like talk in general in Neon Space anymore. Like R Planet
I
is
should
consuming all of
reach
my
out.
life. I'm in 3
I wonder
different
if
R
anyone
Planet
in our-
discords.
I wonder if anyone in our alliance needs like lands I could stake to their bases. I have like really high level lands. They
You'd have to. You can't just stake it to their base. You'd have to send it to their account, but it's not
I guess if
trustless.
it's someone like Irish, if Irish wants it, I guess I could reach out. He's kind of like
I don't
number
think
one.
Irish needs any help. He's literally the top rated person in the server.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
that land like, doubles your fucking mineral production, but he doesn't seem to need that at all.
The thing I wish I would have done is filmed what we're doing in our planet, not on stream. So there is a really great narrative and a lot of like the stuff I'm telling Max is really entertaining, and like the stuff we're doing is awesome in summary. In practice, it fucking sucks. It takes me 12 hours to tell a 30-second story, but like, and like if I would have been filming like a daily update every day and then made a like here's a summary of my 3 months playing our planet, I think that would have been fucking crazy cool content. But like, I already missed so much of it that like if I start now, we're 2 months into the server. But also, I can't do it live because if I tell people our strategy while we're doing it, they will counter our strategy. So like, what I really should have been doing is like vlogging every day and then edited that all together into like a series that was like, this was me playing our planet. So it wasn't just a huge fucking waste of time, which is what it's going to end up being. It's like, even if that NFT is worth $300, the amount of time I put into this is not worth $300. Like, if you told me to work this much on anything for $300, I'd tell you to go fuck yourself. It's like not worth my time. But like, it's like, I've already so invested in this. I'm not going to quit now, but.
That's fucking wild.
You're also right. I'm the KY. There's a 0% chance that 60 people. There are also people multi-accounting, and most of the most active players in the games are playing on multiple accounts. I am not, though. I'm playing on a single account, and I'm still getting beat by people playing on multi-accounts. So, like,
you're also beating a lot of people on multiple accounts, though.
Yeah. Also, there's like 200 people left on the server, so we're getting really fucking close to this being over. We only need to kill like 100 more people, and it's done. So
it's 274. I just checked after I confirmed that I had.
We're close. We're getting to the final stretch, so I do think this crazy like cycle that I'm in is going to end soonish, and then I can hopefully go back to living a normal, semi-normal life. I was already on my computer all day, any day.
You come back. You'll be coming back from war with PTSD.
It's just got worse. It's definitely like I have an attack landing at 8 a.m. and I'll like be like, I'll just stay up for that because then I can go to sleep and not worry about because like, but then they keep sending attacks, so that number always just keeps going up. It's like, okay, 8 a.m. Now it's 9. Now it's like, because it always starts out at like 6 a.m. and I'm like, yeah, I can still get 6 hours of sleep, wake up at noon, but then it's like the hours just keep ticking up. Yeah, I don't know. And then they all had a big fake, and then it's like I just wasted my entire night defending fake attacks. So if y'all are wondering what Lou Dog is doing in his free time, it's that, and it's fucking crazy. And I'm aware it's crazy, and I still can't stop. So I might need an intervention if this continues on the next server, but let me finish this server first, guys. And then if this happens again, it's time for intervention. Until then.
Yeah. We're gonna have to force you to sell all your NFTs. Be like, no, you can't.
I do. I saw it yesterday. I would love more than anything if Neon Space would put out a 1 of 100 NFT that we airdrop to all the 100 winners of the server. Is like a fair portion of our community put in a ton of time to make this happen. And also the last server, if I'm being honest, Low kind of carried me. I didn't do the heavy lifting in the last server. This server, like, I am doing the heavy lifting. So one, I want to sell my fucking hero. I want to capitalize on this thing I'm getting, but I still want a fucking trophy. So I want us to make us a trophy. So we can send it to the 100 winners. So I can sell my stupid fucking hero. I can sell the hero and then keep this as my, but obviously like a lot of our community is not playing our planet and it takes us time to make the artwork. So we'll have to discuss internally if we think it's worth spending the time to make an art planet. But like, I thought it'd be fun to make one called like Spampocalypse. Cause like the big part of this server is spam and they're going to remove spam from the game. They're aware it's an issue. So if you get a trophy right now with like the notification, the red notification, and just like a neon sign with that number spiking up, and that's the animation, and be like, I survived the Spampocalypse. Like that would be a kick-ass souvenir for this season. That will not work for any other seasons because like they will change that. So it'll be like
that's perfect. You want something specific to this season.
Exactly. So like I have a great idea for it. It's just like, do we want to spend a week of our time? So we'd have to make, you know, I guess if Paul's just doing it, we're not doing it.
If it's just a trophy and there's just 100, it could be a naked.
Perfect. So if you guys are cool with that, I want to try to do that.
Or it could be in the gaming schema. We have a gaming schema for our planet like trophies.
Yeah, my plan was just to use bounty block and just target anybody holding the template that is the 1 of 100. So we basically have that as the magnet for the winners, and then we could just, and if bounty block figures out a mint thing, we can even drop mint 1 to the person holding the mint 1, and then it'll work.
Oh fuck yeah, that's a perfect use case to test that. I like this idea too.
Hell yeah, I'm glad you're into it, because I was like, yeah, I don't know if Max and like Mark and Paul give a shit, but like I'm investing so much of my time into RPlanet that like I would love to have some sort of.
I'm like,
and I also know the other people that are investing as much time as me would also love it, and I think they would really like appreciate. And who knows, we might like get some more interest in our collection from the top RPlanet players. It's bad advertising. I know advertising to NFT gamers is bad. Every time we've done it, it doesn't fucking work. So like, this is for vanity for me. Like, I'm like trying to convince myself this is a good marketing opportunity. It's not. Like, I just want a fucking trophy, and I work with artists. I want you to make me a trophy. If we're gonna be
that's also like
100% audience, 100% honest, that's what's going down.
That's kind of the beauty of like having it be our project though. It's like, nah, it's like we don't have to do the move that makes money for the shareholders. We do the move that fucking is awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, enough ranting. Let's land this plane.
Let's dial it in.
Straight into someone. Thanks for joining us. Sorry we're late.
Eric, let me know what ChatGPT says. We'll get a Lewis intervention with AI support.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Hot Sauce is playing the finals. I really want to watch the finals, but also we're definitely rating into Dr. Crispy. Dr. Crispy's the homie, but for a second, I just want to see this person has early access. I'm jealous.
Oh god damn, dude, this game looks fucking wild.
Finals looks so good.
Let me move my picture. Actually, I'll just move it all the way off.
I will say that like RPlanet is some of the like best community gameplay I've had since raiding in World of Warcraft. There's something about the level of communication and teamwork that you need to win in RPlanet that is very, very gratifying when you're winning. So like, as much as I'm bitching about like,
hearing about the like successful attacks that you do is super exciting. Like,
I'm still having fun. Like, it's just the problem is there's like 2 hours of bullshit, like 3 hours of bullshit for every like hour of fun. So it's like,
oh, this is totally like Halo.
Oh, this guy got early access. I want early access. That's cool. He has his mouse, a camera for his mouse.
Oh yeah, see his aim.
All right. Anyway, I'll watch this in my free time maybe, but I'm gonna rate in Dr. Crispy. Thank you everybody for watching.
Guys. Thanks for letting me geek out on tech this week. I went a little long on that.
We'll go over. We will go over. I don't know what we're doing on Thursday. Maybe I'll make a tier list. We haven't done a tier list in a while. I said that last week, but again, our planet's consuming.
I should talk to Rada Quest too. I want to learn how to play Rada Quest.
I'm available if you can schedule that for Thursday.
Yeah.
I think she's actually probably Cristal is probably actually closer to us time zone wise. I think she speaks Spanish as her first language. So I think she's either like Mexico, South America, which is much closer to us than Europe, but I don't know if the 3:30 time will work for her. So you might want to like hit her up and ask as far as like,
okay, yeah.
Like we're not doing any Thursday. So if you want to schedule her for Thursday, I can't remember. Like sometimes they need to do it at noon and not 3. So depending on the time, it might not work with their new schedule. I can also probably wake my ass up early though if we really need to do it at noon. My sleep cycle is so fucked right now. I've been going to bed like no earlier than 8 a.m. for like 2 weeks. I want to do some of the mirror before we leave.
That's what I'm doing too. Just bouncing things into infinity. Yeah, this is good stuff right here. Quality infinity mirror stuff. Oh yeah.
This is the content people subscribe to us for.
What the people want.
We're rating into Dr. Crispy.
Get it.
Shout out to our NFT Nerds Unite family. Y'all are the best, really. Dr. Crispy, Soli, Sune, Priscilla. Love all those folks.
Exactly. This is why you stay to the end, and then your comments can go off into infinity. Look at that.
All right.
Oh yeah.
We're rating into Dr. Crispy. I believe I spelled his name right. Let's go. We'll see you all on Thursday. Feel free to hit us up in Discord if you like to chat before then.
I will be playing Our Planet.
It's a cry for help. See you
All right,
guys.
peace out, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday.